Once upon a time, in a hidden corner of the world, there lay a kingdom known as Luminera. Luminera was famous for its breathtaking gardens and its ethereal moonlit nights. However, the kingdom's most precious secret was a flower called the moonflower, which bloomed only once every 100 years under the light of the full moon. Legend had it that the moonflower could grant a single wish to anyone who found it, but finding it was no easy task. In the village of Willowbrook, nestled at the edge of Luminera's enchanted forest, lived a kind-hearted girl named Eloan. Eloan loved the stories of the moonflower, and she dreamed of finding it to help her village, which had been suffering from a long drought. One evening, as the full moon began to rise in the sky, Eloan decided to embark on a quest to find the elusive moonflower. She packed a small satchel with provisions and set off into the forest, guided by the shimmering light of the moon. The forest was alive with the sounds of nocturnal creatures, and the moonlight cast a silvery glow on the trees. Eloan followed a winding path that seemed to be illuminated by a gentle, otherworldly light. She came across a wise old owl perched on a branch. "Good evening, wise owl," Eloan greeted. "Can you help me find the moonflower?" The owl, whose feathers sparkled like stardust, looked at her with keen eyes. "The moonflower is not easily found, for it hides in a place where light meets shadow and dreams intertwine with reality. You must follow your heart and trust in the guidance of the moon." Eloan thanked the owl and continued her journey. As she walked, she noticed that the moonlight seemed to form patterns on the forest floor, leading her to a hidden glade. In the center of the glade stood a large, ancient tree with branches that seemed to reach out to the sky. Under the tree, Eloan found a stone pedestal with intricate carvings of stars and moons. Atop the pedestal was a small, delicate box. Inside the box was a silver key and a note that read, "To find the moonflower. Seek the grove where dreams are born. Follow the melody of the moon and the whispers of the night." Eloan looked around and noticed a faint, melodic tune carried by the breeze. She followed the music to a nearby grove, where the trees glowed softly in the moonlight. In the heart of the grove, a crystal-clear pond reflected the light of the full moon. By the edge of the pond, Eloan saw a shimmering path of moonlight leading to a hidden entrance beneath the roots of a great tree. She used the silver key to unlock the entrance, revealing a staircase that descended into the depths of the earth. With determination, Eloan climbed down the staircase, which led her to an underground cavern bathed in a soft, mystical glow. In the center of the cavern was a pedestal with a single, radiant moonflower in full bloom. Its petals glowed with an iridescent light, and the air around it seemed to hum with magic. Eloan approached the moonflower with awe. She gently picked it, knowing that she had to make her wish. She closed her eyes and wished for rain to fall upon her drought-stricken village, hoping that it would bring life back to the land and restore hope to her people. As soon as Eloan made her wish, the moonflower's petals began to sparkle and emit a brilliant light. The light grew brighter and brighter until it enveloped the cavern. When the light faded, Eloan found herself back at the edge of the forest, the moonflower safely in her hands. She hurried back to Willowbrook, where she was greeted by a sky filled with dark, rain-laden clouds. As she arrived, the first drops of rain began to fall. The villagers watched in amazement as the rain nourished the parched earth, and the once dry river began to flow again. Eloan's wish had come true, and the village thrived once more. The story of the moonflower and Eloan's bravery became a cherished legend, reminding everyone of the magic that lies in selfless wishes and the power of hope. And so, Luminera remained a kingdom of wonder and prosperity, forever touched by the light of the moonflower and the courage of a young girl who followed her heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by misty mountains and shimmering lakes, there was a charming village named Starhaven. Starhaven was known for its crystal-clear nights, where the stars seemed to twinkle more brightly than anywhere else. The villagers believed that the stars were magical and watched over them, guiding their lives with their gentle light. In this village lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her love of stargazing and her adventurous spirit. Every evening, she would climb the hill behind her cottage and lie on the soft grass, watching the constellations dance across the night sky. Her favorite star was the North Star, which she believed had a special connection to her dreams. One night, as Elara was stargazing, she noticed that the North Star was dimmer than usual. Concerned, she decided to investigate. With a lantern in hand and a heart full of determination, she set off on a journey to the top of the highest mountain in the land, where it was said that the stars touched the earth. The path was steep and winding, and the journey was fraught with challenges. Elara encountered a swirling snowstorm, crossed a rickety old bridge, and navigated through a dark forest filled with whispering shadows. But she pressed on, guided by the faint glow of the North Star. At the summit, she discovered a hidden cave. Inside, the walls were adorned with sparkling crystals, and at the center of the cave was a magical pool of starlight. Floating above the pool was a delicate, glowing star, its light flickering weakly. As Elara approached, a gentle voice echoed through the cave. "Who dares enter the realm of the stars?" Elara looked around and saw a wise, ancient figure emerge from the shadows. It was a celestial guardian with flowing robes that shimmered like the night sky. "I am Elara," she said bravely. "I have come to restore the light of the North Star. It is dim, and I fear for the balance of the stars." The guardian's eyes softened with compassion. "The North Star is fading because the Starstone, which powers the stars, has been stolen by a dark sorcerer. Without it, the stars cannot shine as brightly. You are the first to reach this place, and I sense that you have a pure heart." Elara's eyes widened. "How can I help retrieve the Starstone?" The guardian handed her a shimmering map and said, "Follow this map to the Shadow Realm, where the sorcerer hides. There, you must confront him and recover the Starstone. But remember, the power of the Starstone is not just physical, it also requires a heart full of courage and love." With the map in hand, Elara ventured into the Shadow Realm, a place of swirling darkness and eerie silence. She navigated through the realm, her lantern's light piercing the shadows. Eventually, she found the sorcerer's lair, a towering fortress surrounded by swirling mists. Inside, the sorcerer sat on a dark throne, the Starstone glowing ominously at his side. He was a tall figure cloaked in shadows, his eyes gleaming with malice. "Why have you come here, child?" he sneered. Elara took a deep breath. "I have come to reclaim the Starstone and restore the light of the North Star. The stars are important to the world, and their light brings hope and guidance." The sorcerer laughed. "You think you can take it from me? The Starstone's power is mine to command." With a sudden burst of bravery, Elara stepped forward and spoke from her heart. "The power of the Starstone is meant to bring light and hope, not darkness. True power lies in using it for good." Her words struck a chord with the sorcerer. He hesitated, and for a moment, his hardened exterior softened. He realized the truth in her words. Reluctantly, he handed the Starstone over to Elara, his anger giving way to a deep, introspective sadness. Elara thanked him and quickly made her way back to the summit. With the Starstone in place, its light began to radiate throughout the cave, filling it with a brilliant, warm glow. The North Star's light was restored, and the stars across the sky sparkled with renewed brilliance. When Elara returned to Starhaven, the villagers celebrated her bravery and kindness. The North Star shone more brightly than ever, and the balance of the stars was preserved. The sorcerer, having seen the error of his ways, found redemption and vowed to use his magic for good. Elara's adventure became a cherished tale in Starhaven, a story of courage, kindness, and the power of a pure heart. The stars continued to guide and inspire the village, and Elara, with her unwavering spirit, lived happily ever after. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the magical land of Alicia, there was a small village named Bramblebrook. This village was surrounded by dense forests, crystal-clear lakes, and meadows filled with wildflowers. The people of Bramblebrook lived simple, happy lives, but they had a secret longing. They wished to see the legendary silver unicorn, a mystical creature believed to bring good fortune and eternal peace. In Bramblebrook lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was kind-hearted and adventurous, with a curiosity that knew no bounds. Her grandmother, Esme, would often tell her tales of the silver unicorn and its magical powers. Elara dreamed of one day seeing the unicorn and bringing its blessings to her village. One fateful spring, a terrible drought struck Bramblebrook. The rivers dried up, crops withered, and the villagers grew desperate. Elara, seeing the suffering of her friends and family, decided it was time to find the silver unicorn. With a heart full of hope and determination, she set off into the unknown. Elara's journey led her into the heart of the enchanted forest, a place teeming with magic and mystery. As she walked through the forest, she encountered a wise old owl named Orion, perched on a low branch. Orion had seen many travelers come and go, but none with such pure intentions as Elara. "Why do you venture into the enchanted forest, young one?" Orion asked, his voice deep and resonant. "I seek the silver unicorn," Elara replied. "Our village is suffering from a terrible drought, and I hope to bring back its blessings." Orion nodded thoughtfully. "The path to the silver unicorn is perilous and full of challenges. You must possess courage, wisdom, and kindness to succeed. Take this feather," he said, plucking one of his own and handing it to her. "It will light your way in the darkest times." Elara thanked Orion and continued her journey, the feather glowing softly in her hand. As she ventured deeper into the forest, she came across a shimmering pond. At the edge of the pond stood a beautiful deer with eyes as blue as sapphires. "Greetings, traveler," the deer said. "I am Luna, the guardian of this pond. Why do you seek the silver unicorn?" Elara explained her quest, and Luna listened intently. "The silver unicorn resides in the Valley of Echoes, beyond the misty mountains," Luna said. "But to reach it, you must first solve a riddle. If you succeed, I will guide you to the mountains." Elara agreed, and Luna recited the riddle. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, and I can drown. What am I?" Elara thought for a moment, then smiled. "You are fire," she answered confidently. Luna nodded in approval. "You are correct, Elara. Follow me, and I will lead you to the misty mountains." Luna led Elara through the forest, and they soon reached the base of the misty mountains. The peaks were hidden in swirling mists, and the air was chilly. Elara began her climb, using the owl's feather to light her path. The journey was arduous, and she faced many obstacles, but her determination never wavered. At last, Elara reached the Valley of Echoes, a serene place where every sound seemed to linger and repeat. In the center of the valley stood the silver unicorn, its coat glistening like moonlight and its eyes filled with ancient wisdom. The unicorn stepped forward, its hooves barely making a sound on the soft grass. "Why have you come, young Elara?" the unicorn asked, its voice as gentle as a breeze. "I seek your help, noble unicorn," Elara said, bowing respectfully. "My village is suffering from a drought, and I hope to bring back your blessings to save my people." The silver unicorn looked at her with kind eyes. "You have shown great courage and a pure heart. I will grant your wish, but first, you must complete one final task. You must find the heartstone hidden within this valley. It is a symbol of love and hope, and only those with true intentions can find it." Elara set off through the valley, her eyes scanning every nook and cranny. She walked for hours, but the heartstone eluded her. Exhausted, she sat down and began to sing a lullaby her grandmother used to sing to her. As she sang, a soft glow appeared beneath a nearby tree. Elara approached and found the heartstone, glowing with a gentle light. She returned to the silver unicorn and presented the heartstone. "You have succeeded, Elara," the unicorn said. "Your pure heart and determination have proven your worth. I will grant your village the rain it needs." The unicorn raised its head and let out a melodious call. The skies darkened, and rain began to fall gently, soaking the earth. Elara felt a sense of relief and joy wash over her. "Thank you, noble unicorn," she said, tears of gratitude in her eyes. "Remember, Elara," the silver unicorn said, "true magic lies within the heart. Your love and courage have brought this blessing upon your village." Elara returned to Bramblebrook, where the rain had already begun to revive the land. The villagers rejoiced, and her parents embraced her, proud of their brave daughter. The story of Alera's journey spread far and wide, inspiring others to believe in the power of love, courage, and selflessness. And so, the village of Bramblebrook thrived once more, forever grateful to the girl who brought the blessings of the silver unicorn to their lives. The end. In a land of lush valleys and sparkling rivers, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, lay the enchanting Moonstone Kingdom. This kingdom was unique, not only because of its natural beauty but also because of the mystical Moonstone, a gem said to hold the power of the moon and stars. The Moonstone was housed in a grand palace, where the kind-hearted Queen Seraphina ruled with wisdom and grace. The Moonstone's magic kept the kingdom bathed in a gentle, silver light every night, and it was believed to bring peace and prosperity to the land. One day, as the kingdom prepared for the annual Moon Festival, a celebration of the Moonstone's magic, a dark cloud appeared on the horizon. The cloud, shrouded in shadows, seemed to creep closer to the kingdom with every passing moment. The villagers were worried, and the once bright moonlight began to dim. Queen Seraphina, concerned for her kingdom, summoned her most trusted advisor, Sir Cedric, a brave knight known for his valor and loyalty. "Sir Cedric," the queen said, "the Moonstone's light is fading, and this ominous cloud threatens our land. I fear the Moonstone's magic may be in danger. We must find out what is causing this darkness." Sir Cedric nodded, determined to protect the kingdom. "I will seek out the source of this dark cloud and restore the Moonstone's light. I will need a guide, someone who knows the hidden paths of the forest." The queen agreed and introduced Cedric to Alera, a young and clever village girl who had a deep connection with the forest and its secrets. Alera was both excited and honored to help. The two set off on their quest, leaving the Moonstone Palace behind. They ventured into the forest, where the trees whispered ancient secrets and the paths twisted and turned in unexpected ways. As they journeyed deeper, they encountered various magical creatures who spoke of a dark sorcerer named Malachar, who sought to steal the Moonstone's magic for his own sinister purposes. The first clue they discovered was a series of shimmering silver footprints leading them to a hidden grove. In the center of the grove stood an ancient stone archway covered in ivy. As Cedric and Alera approached, the archway began to glow with a soft, moonlit light. "This must be a clue," Alera said, examining the archway. "It seems to be pointing us towards the heart of the forest." Following the archway's guidance, Cedric and Alera continued their journey until they reached a serene, moonlit lake. At the edge of the lake was a small boat, and beside it was an old parchment with a riddle: "On the waters where moonlight gleams, find the path that leads to dreams. Where shadows fall and silence reigns, the answer lies where magic wanes." They carefully boarded the boat and rowed across the moonlit lake. As they reached the far side, they discovered a hidden cave entrance covered in dark vines. Inside the cave, they found a magical lantern that seemed to pulse with a faint, silver light. Alera took the lantern and noticed a hidden compartment containing another parchment. This one read, "Seek the tower where night and day meet, and confront the darkness you will defeat." Cedric and Alera ventured further until they found an ancient, abandoned tower on the edge of the forest. The tower was shrouded in darkness and seemed to be the source of the ominous cloud. They climbed the spiraling staircase and reached the top, where they saw Malachar standing before the Moonstone, preparing to cast a dark spell. Malachar, clad in a cloak of shadows, looked surprised but menacing. "You dare to challenge me?" he sneered. "The Moonstone's power will be mine." Cedric stepped forward, brandishing his sword. "Not if we have anything to say about it." Alera, holding the magical lantern, stepped to the front. The lantern's light began to shine more brightly, and she spoke with confidence. "The Moonstone's magic belongs to the kingdom and its people. We won't let you steal it." Malachar unleashed a wave of dark magic towards them, but the lantern's light created a barrier that protected Cedric and Alera. They realized that the lantern's light was strong enough to counteract Malachar's dark spell. As Malachar continued to attack, Cedric and Alera combined their efforts. Cedric's bravery and Alera's quick thinking proved to be a powerful combination. With one final, brilliant burst of light from the lantern, Malachar was overwhelmed and his dark magic was dispelled. He was cast out of the tower and vanished into the shadows. With the sorcerer defeated, the moonstone's light began to shine brightly once more. The dark cloud dissipated, and the kingdom was bathed in its gentle, silver glow. Cedric and Alara returned to the Moonstone Palace as heroes. Queen Seraphina greeted them with immense gratitude. "You have saved the Moonstone and our kingdom. Your bravery and unity have restored the light and peace to our land." The Moon Festival that followed was a grand celebration of the restored magic. The villagers rejoiced, and Cedric and Alara were honored for their heroism. The Moonstone continued to shine brightly, a symbol of the courage and light that resided within every heart. And so, the tale of Cedric and Alara became a beloved legend in the Moonstone Kingdom, reminding everyone that even in the darkest times, light and bravery could prevail. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom called Veridonia, nestled between towering mountains and verdant valleys, there was a small village named Whimsy Hollow. The village was known for its vibrant gardens, where flowers of every color bloomed, and the townsfolk lived in harmony with nature. At the heart of this village lived a kind-hearted girl named Lily, who was known for her curiosity and bravery. Lily lived with her grandmother, a wise woman who was respected throughout the village for her knowledge of herbs and healing. Every night, her grandmother would tell her stories of the enchanted forest that bordered their village, a place filled with magical creatures and hidden secrets. One story that fascinated Lily the most was about the legendary Tree of Dreams, a mystical tree whose golden leaves could grant a single wish to the pure of heart. One day, a terrible drought struck Whimsy Hollow. The gardens wilted, the rivers dried up, and the villagers grew anxious. The crops that the village depended on for survival were in jeopardy. Remembering the stories of the Tree of Dreams, Lily decided that she must find it and save her village. With a heart full of determination, Lily set off into the enchanted forest. Her faithful companion, a clever squirrel named Pip, joined her on her quest. The forest was a place of wonder, with trees that whispered ancient secrets and flowers that glowed in the dark. As they ventured deeper, they encountered their first challenge, a wide, roaring river with no bridge in sight. Just as Lily wondered how to cross, a majestic eagle swooped down and landed gracefully on a nearby rock. The eagle spoke in a regal voice, "To cross this river, you must answer my riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Lily thought for a moment and then replied, "You are an echo." The eagle nodded and extended one of its mighty wings, creating a bridge of golden feathers. Lily and Pip crossed the river safely and continued their journey. Soon, they arrived at a dense part of the forest where the sunlight barely penetrated. Here, they met a wise old owl perched on a gnarled tree branch. "To pass through this dark wood, you must show your wisdom," the owl hooted. "Tell me, what can fill a room but takes up no space?" Lily pondered the question and then answered, "Light." The owl's eyes twinkled with approval, and the dense woods parted, allowing a clear path to form. As they walked through, they reached a beautiful meadow where a unicorn with a shimmering mane stood. The unicorn looked at them with sorrowful eyes. "My magic is fading, and I can no longer guard the Tree of Dreams," the unicorn said. "To find the tree, you must show compassion. Can you help me?" Lily, with Pip's help, gathered herbs and concocted a healing potion, just as her grandmother had taught her. She offered it to the unicorn, who drank it gratefully. Immediately, the unicorn's strength was restored, and it shone with a radiant light. "You have shown great kindness," the unicorn said. "Climb on my back, and I will take you to the Tree of Dreams." Lily and Pip climbed onto the unicorn's back, and in a flash of light, they were transported to a hidden grove. At the center of the grove stood the magnificent Tree of Dreams, its golden leaves shimmering like stars. However, as Lily approached the tree, a dark figure emerged from the shadows. It was Morgana, a sorceress who sought to use the tree's magic for her own selfish desires. "You cannot take the magic of the tree," Morgana hissed, her eyes glowing with malice. Lily stood her ground, her heart pounding but her resolve unwavering. The magic of the tree is meant to help those in need, not to serve selfish desires. Morgana raised her staff, ready to cast a spell, but Pip darted forward and knocked the staff from her hands. In the confusion, Lily touched the Tree of Dreams and made her wish. I wish for the drought to end and for my village to thrive once more. The tree's leaves glowed brightly, and a wave of magic spread throughout the land. The drought was lifted, rivers flowed again, and the fields were filled with lush, green crops. Morgana, realizing she was defeated, disappeared into the shadows. Lily and Pip returned to Whimsy Hollow as heroes. The villagers celebrated their bravery, and the Tree of Dreams continued to bless the land with prosperity. Lily's name was remembered for generations, a symbol of courage and compassion. And so, the kingdom of Veridonia flourished under the watchful eye of its brave young hero, and they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a kingdom known for its endless fields of flowers, there lived a gentle princess named Seraphina. Her kingdom, Lumina, was blessed with vibrant flora that bloomed in every color of the rainbow, but the most cherished flower of all was the moonflower, a rare blossom that only bloomed under the light of the full moon. The moonflower was said to possess magical properties. It could grant a single wish to anyone who found it under the full moon. For centuries, the moonflower had been a symbol of hope and dreams for the people of Lumina. Princess Seraphina, known for her kindness and wisdom, dreamed of using the moonflower's magic to help her kingdom, which had been suffering from a prolonged drought. One night, as the full moon rose high in the sky, casting a silvery glow over the land, Seraphina decided to seek out the moonflower. Guided by the gentle light of the moon and the soft whispers of the flowers, she ventured into the royal gardens, where the moonflower was believed to bloom. As Seraphina walked through the garden, she noticed a shimmering, ethereal light coming from the depths of the flower beds. She followed the light until she reached a secluded grove where the moonflower was said to grow. The grove was enchanting, with a soft, magical aura that seemed to make the air itself sparkle. However, when she arrived at the grove, Seraphina found that the moonflower was guarded by a wise old dragon named Eldrin. Eldrin had scales that gleamed like stardust, and his eyes were full of ancient wisdom. To find the moonflower and make your wish, Eldrin said in a deep, rumbling voice, you must prove yourself worthy by completing 3 tasks that test your heart and spirit. Seraphina, undaunted, agreed to the challenge. The first task was to retrieve a crystal tear from the songbird of serenity, a rare bird whose song could calm even the most troubled heart. The bird's nest was high atop a treacherous cliff, and Seraphina had to climb with great care to reach it. At the top, she found the songbird, which looked at her with understanding eyes. Seraphina sang a soft, sweet song of her own, one of hope and kindness, and the bird was moved by her sincerity. The songbird gifted her a crystal tear, which shimmered with a calming light. The second task was to find the golden leaf from the Tree of Echoes, which was located in the heart of the Whispering Forest. The Tree of Echoes was known for its ability to reflect the truth and grant wisdom. Seraphina ventured into the forest and navigated through its labyrinthine paths by listening to the whispers of the trees and the guidance of the gentle breeze. When she reached the Tree of Echoes, she was met with a choice, to take a single leaf or to listen to the tree's whispered wisdom. Seraphina chose to listen, learning a valuable lesson about the importance of patience and humility. The tree rewarded her with the golden leaf, which glittered with a warm, golden light. The final task was to bring the starfire crystal from the Cavern of Wonders, a hidden cave beneath the kingdom. The cavern was filled with intricate puzzles and traps, designed to test the courage and intelligence of those who entered. Seraphina solved the puzzles with her wits and bravery, and retrieved the starfire crystal, a gem that glowed with an inner fire. With all 3 items, the crystal tear, the golden leaf, and the starfire crystal, Seraphina returned to the grove. Eldrin examined the items and nodded with approval. You have completed the tasks with a pure heart and a steadfast spirit, he said. You may now seek the moonflower. In the center of the grove, the moonflower bloomed under the full moon, its petals glowing with a soft, silvery light. Seraphina approached the flower and made her wish with all her heart. I wish for rain to fall upon my kingdom, so that the land may be restored and my people may flourish once more. As she spoke, the moonflower's light grew brighter, and a gentle rain began to fall over Lumina. The kingdom's parched fields and dried riverbeds were soon rejuvenated, and the land was once again vibrant and lush. Seraphina returned to her kingdom, where the people welcomed her with joy and celebration. The rain had brought new life to the land, and the kingdom thrived once more. The tale of Princess Seraphina and the Moonflower became a beloved legend in Lumina, a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that can be found in even the smallest of wishes. And so, under the light of the full moon, Lumina continued to flourish, its fields forever blooming with the enchanting beauty of the Moonflower, and its people forever grateful for their wise and compassionate princess. Once upon a time, in a kingdom tucked away between rolling hills and vast meadows, there was a charming village named Fernwood. Fernwood was known for its lush, green fields and the large, ancient oak tree that stood in its center. This oak, known as the Grand Oak, was said to be magical, its roots entwined with the heart of the earth itself. In this village lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was a dreamer, always imagining adventures and discovering hidden places. He had a special connection with animals and often spoke to them, learning their secrets and stories. However, despite his love for adventure, Finn was a humble boy, helping his family and friends with their daily chores. One summer's day, a strange thing happened. As Finn was tending to his garden, he noticed that the leaves of the Grand Oak had begun to wither, and a dark, ominous fog hung around its branches. The once vibrant tree now looked tired and weak. Worried, Finn approached the Grand Oak and gently placed his hand on its bark. "What's wrong?" he whispered. The tree's deep voice rustled through the leaves, barely audible. "The heart of the forest is missing. Without it, the land will lose its magic and wither away." Finn's heart sank. The heart of the forest was a legendary gem said to keep the balance of nature and magic in the kingdom. It had been lost for as long as anyone could remember. Determined to save the Grand Oak and Fernwood, Finn decided to set off on a quest to find the heart of the forest. His first step led him to the Whispering Meadows, a place where the flowers could talk and the grass whispered secrets of the past. Finn walked carefully, listening to the gentle hum of the meadow. A wise old daisy named Daisy told him that the heart of the forest had been stolen by a greedy sorceress named Morgana, who lived in a tower hidden in the misty mountains. "Thank you, Daisy," Finn said, and continued on his journey towards the misty mountains. As he climbed the steep, rocky paths, he encountered a small, mischievous creature, a sprite named Fizzle. Fizzle had bright green wings and a twinkle in his eye. "Are you lost, little one?" Fizzle asked. "I'm searching for the heart of the forest," Finn explained. "Have you seen it?" Fizzle's eyes widened with recognition. "Ah, Morgana has it. But beware, her tower is full of magical traps and illusions." Fizzle decided to help Finn, guiding him through the treacherous terrain and showing him hidden paths. Together, they reached Morgana's towering fortress, shrouded in mist and dark enchantments. As they approached the tower, they encountered the first challenge, a labyrinth of shifting walls and magical illusions. Finn's heart raced as the maze twisted and turned, but he remembered his grandmother's words about trusting his instincts. With Fizzle's guidance and his own sharp mind, Finn navigated through the labyrinth and reached the tower's entrance. Inside, they faced another trial, a room filled with enchanted mirrors that reflected not just their images but their deepest fears and doubts. Finn felt a shiver of fear but took a deep breath, focusing on his love for his village and his determination to restore the Grand Oak. He stepped forward, ignoring the illusions, and the mirrors dissolved into mist. Finally, they reached the top of the tower, where Morgana was waiting, holding the heart of the forest in her hands. She was tall, with long, dark hair and eyes that glittered with a mix of malice and curiosity. "So, you've come for the heart," Morgana said with a cold smile. "What makes you think you can take it from me?" Finn stood tall and spoke from his heart. "I'm here to save my village. The Grand Oak and all of Fernwood are suffering because of your actions. Please, return the heart of the forest so that the land can heal." Morgana's eyes softened slightly, and for a moment, the hardness in her gaze faded. She saw the sincerity in Finn's eyes and the bravery in his heart. "You have a pure heart, brave boy," she said slowly. "Perhaps I was wrong to take the heart for myself. It was not meant to be used for greed." With a sigh, Morgana handed over the heart of the forest. Finn thanked her, and Fizzle led them back down the mountain. When Finn returned the heart to the grand oak, the tree's leaves instantly revived, and the land around Fernwood blossomed with new life. The village celebrated Finn's bravery with a grand feast, and the grand oak stood tall and majestic once more. Morgana, touched by Finn's courage, decided to change her ways and use her magic for good, becoming a guardian of the forest. And so, the kingdom of Eldoria thrived, with the grand oak at its heart, a symbol of courage, hope, and the power of selfless actions. Finn's story became a beloved tale, reminding everyone that even the smallest person could make a difference with a brave heart. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a land where the moon was always full and cast a silver glow upon the world, there was a hidden kingdom known as Lunaria. Lunaria was a magical place where everything sparkled under the moonlight, and its people were blessed with eternal joy and prosperity. At the heart of Lunaria was a grand castle, and within its deepest chamber lay a mysterious door adorned with intricate moon-shaped carvings. This door had remained closed for centuries, for it was said that only the Moonlit Key could unlock it. The Moonlit Key was a legendary artifact said to possess the power to grant a single, profound wish to the kingdom. However, it had been lost many generations ago, and the door remained unopened, its secrets hidden from all. One day, a curious and kind-hearted girl named Lyra, who lived in a small village near Lunaria, overheard a tale about the Moonlit Key and the mysterious door. Determined to help her village, which had recently fallen on hard times, she decided to embark on a quest to find the Moonlit Key and unlock the secrets of the ancient door. The first challenge, the Forest of Whispers. Lyra's journey began in the Forest of Whispers, a magical woodland where the trees were said to whisper ancient secrets and tales. As she wandered through the forest, she encountered a wise old tree with bark that shimmered like silver. To pass through the Forest of Whispers, the tree said in a gentle, rustling voice, "You must solve this riddle. I have cities but no houses, mountains but no trees, and water but no fish. What am I?" Lyra thought carefully and answered, "A map." The wise old tree's bark glowed warmly, and it parted to reveal a hidden path. "Follow this path to reach the next challenge," the tree instructed. The second challenge, the River of Reflections. Lyra followed the path and soon arrived at the River of Reflections, a serene river with water so clear it mirrored the sky and the surrounding trees perfectly. The river was guarded by a graceful swan with feathers that sparkled like moonlight. To cross the River of Reflections, the swan said softly, "You must answer this question. What has keys but can't open locks, has space but no room, and you can play it but not touch it?" Lyra pondered the question and replied, "A piano." The swan's feathers glowed with approval, and it created a shimmering bridge of light across the river. Lyra crossed the river with a sense of accomplishment and hope. The third challenge, the Cavern of Echoes. On the other side of the river, Lyra discovered the Cavern of Echoes, a grand cave filled with sparkling crystals that cast mesmerizing patterns of light. At the entrance of the cavern stood a grand, ancient door covered in celestial symbols. A soothing voice echoed from within the cavern, "To unlock this door and find the Moonlit Key, you must reveal your true heart. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with pure intentions." Lyra took a deep breath and spoke from her heart, "My deepest wish is to find the Moonlit Key and use its power to help my village, so that they can prosper and find joy again." The cavern's walls shimmered with a soft, silvery light, and the grand door slowly creaked open to reveal the Moonlit Key resting on a pedestal, glowing with a soft, magical light. The revelation, restoring the kingdom. With the Moonlit Key in hand, Lyra returned to Lunaria. She approached the mysterious door in the castle's deepest chamber and carefully inserted the key. As the door swung open, a brilliant light filled the room, revealing a magnificent treasure trove of ancient knowledge, magical artifacts, and wondrous gifts. The light from the open door spread throughout Lunaria, restoring its former glory and bringing prosperity and happiness to the land. the people of Lunaria rejoiced, their joy and gratitude filling the air. Lyra's village also benefited from the Moonlit Key's magic, with the land flourishing and the villagers finding renewed hope and joy. The tale of Lyra's quest became a cherished story, a symbol of bravery and the power of a pure heart. Under the radiant light of the Moonlit Key, Lunaria and Lyra's village thrived, forever grateful for the courageous girl who had unlocked the door to their dreams and restored their happiness. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there was a humble music shop run by an elderly man named Master Caden. The shop was known far and wide for its magical instruments, each with a unique and enchanting story. Among these instruments was a golden violin known as the Enchanted Melody. Legend had it that the Enchanted Melody could only be played by someone with a heart full of kindness and bravery. Its music was said to bring joy, heal wounds, and even grant a single wish to the pure-hearted soul who played it. But the violin had remained silent for many years, as no one had yet proven worthy of its magic. In this village lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara was known for her sweet nature and her love of music. Every day, she played her small, worn-out violin, filling the village with beautiful melodies. Despite her talent, her family was poor, and they struggled to make ends meet. Ilara dreamed of a better life for her family and wished to bring happiness and prosperity to her village. One crisp autumn morning, while walking past Master Caden's shop, Ilara heard the faintest whisper of a melody that seemed to call to her. Intrigued, she entered the shop and saw the golden violin displayed on a velvet cushion. Its beauty was breathtaking, and the melody it seemed to whisper felt like a promise of hope. Master Caden, who had been observing Ilara with a knowing smile, approached her. "The Enchanted Melody has been waiting for someone like you," he said. "It is said that only someone with a truly pure heart can play its magic." Ilara's eyes widened with excitement and curiosity. "How can I prove myself worthy?" Master Caden handed her the violin and said, "You must undertake a quest to show your true heart. There are 3 tasks that will test your kindness and bravery. Only by completing them will the Enchanted Melody reveal its magic." Ilara accepted the challenge with determination. The first task took her to the edge of the village, where a small, struggling farm was in dire need of help. The farm's crops were wilting, and the farmer's animals were weak. Ilara worked tirelessly, tending to the crops, feeding the animals, and helping the farmer restore the land. Her efforts brought new life to the farm, and the grateful farmer thanked her with tears of joy. The second task led Ilara to the heart of the forest, where she found a wounded deer caught in a hunter's trap. With gentle hands and a kind heart, Ilara freed the deer, tended to its wounds, and stayed by its side until it could walk again. The deer looked at her with grateful eyes before bounding back into the forest, its strength restored. For the final task, Ilara had to climb the steepest hill in the village and reach a hidden cave where a mystical flower known as the Star Blossom was said to bloom. The journey was arduous, and Ilara faced harsh weather and rough terrain. But she persevered, driven by the thought of her village and her family. When she finally reached the cave, she found the Star Blossom glowing with a soft, celestial light. She carefully plucked the flower and made her way back, exhausted but fulfilled. Upon returning to Master Caden's shop, Ilara presented the Star Blossom and recounted her experiences. Master Caden nodded approvingly and said, "You have proven yourself worthy with your acts of kindness and bravery." With that, Master Caden handed Ilara the Enchanted Melody. As she held the golden violin, she felt a warm, magical energy flow through her. She lifted the bow and began to play. The music that flowed from the violin was unlike anything anyone had ever heard, melodies of joy and healing that filled the air with enchantment. The villagers gathered around, mesmerized by the beautiful music. As Ilara played, the village transformed, crops flourished, the river sparkled with newfound vitality, and a sense of happiness and peace settled over everyone. The magic of the Enchanted Melody had brought prosperity and joy to the village. Ilara's family, too, found their fortunes changing. They were able to build a new home and live comfortably. And Ilara's dream of bringing happiness to her family and village had come true. Master Caden smiled with pride. the true magic of the enchanted melody is not just in its notes, but in the kindness and courage of the one who plays it. From that day on, Alara became known as the village's most cherished musician, and the enchanted melody was played during every celebration and festival, spreading joy and harmony throughout the land. The tale of Alara and the golden violin became a beloved story, a reminder that the greatest magic of all is found in the heart. Once upon a time, in a peaceful valley surrounded by misty mountains, there was a village called Lumina. Lumina was known for its beautiful lantern festival, where every year, the villagers would light lanterns and release them into the night sky, creating a breathtaking display of floating lights. The festival was said to bring good fortune and happiness, but there was one lantern that stood out among the rest, a lantern that had been passed down through generations and was believed to possess magical powers. The lantern was kept in the village's ancient tower, and only the most honorable person in the village was entrusted with its care. The lantern was not lit during the festival but was displayed as a symbol of hope and unity. However, as the years went by, the lantern's light seemed to have dimmed, and the villagers grew anxious, worried that their fortunes might be changing. One crisp autumn evening, as the festival approached, a young girl named Mira, who had just turned 12, decided to take it upon herself to restore the lantern's lost glow. Mira was known for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. She had always been fascinated by the tales of the magical lantern and believed that if anyone could rekindle its light, it would be her. Mira set out on a journey to uncover the secrets of the lantern. She visited the village elders, who told her that the lantern was enchanted by an ancient fairy named Seraphina, who lived in the Whispering Woods. The fairy had bestowed the lantern with the power to brighten the darkest of nights and bring joy to those who needed it most. However, the fairy's magic had waned over time, and the lantern's light had faded as a result. Determined to help, Mira ventured into the Whispering Woods. The forest was dense and full of mysteries, with trees that whispered secrets to those who listened closely. Mira followed a winding path marked by glimmering fireflies that seemed to guide her way. As she ventured deeper into the forest, Mira encountered various magical creatures, talking owls, playful pixies, and a wise old turtle who told her that the key to restoring the lantern's light was to find the heart of the forest, a mystical gem that held the essence of the fairy's magic. With newfound determination, Mira continued her journey. She crossed a shimmering stream, climbed a hill of soft moss, and ventured through a misty glade where the air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers. Each step brought her closer to her goal, and with each challenge she faced, her resolve grew stronger. Finally, Mira arrived at a hidden grove bathed in moonlight. At the center of the grove stood a majestic tree with branches that sparkled like diamonds. Nestled among its roots was the heart of the forest, a radiant gem that pulsed with a warm, golden light. As Mira reached out to take the gem, a soft, melodic voice spoke. It was Seraphina, the ancient fairy, appearing in a swirl of shimmering light. "You have shown great bravery and kindness, young Mira. The heart of the forest is a powerful source of magic. But it must be given willingly. Why do you seek it?" Mira looked into Seraphina's eyes and replied, "I wish to restore the lantern's light so that our village can continue to experience the joy and unity it brings. I believe that if the lantern shines brightly again, it will inspire hope and happiness for all." Seraphina smiled, her eyes twinkling like stars. "Your wish is pure and selfless. The lantern's magic was never lost, it only needed someone with a true heart to bring it back to life." With a wave of her hand, Seraphina infused the heart of the forest with her magic and gave it to Mira. "Take this gem and place it within the lantern. Its light will be restored, and your village will flourish once more." Mira thanked Seraphina and made her way back to Lumina, carrying the heart of the forest with care. As she approached the village, the sky was dark, and the villagers had gathered for the festival, their faces reflecting their hopes and dreams. Mira climbed the ancient tower and carefully placed the heart of the forest inside the lantern. As soon as the gem touched the lantern, it burst into a brilliant, radiant light that illuminated the entire village. The lantern's glow was even more magnificent than before, casting a warm, golden hue over everything. The villagers cheered with delight, their faces lighting up with joy. The festival was more magical than ever, with the lantern guiding the way and filling the night sky with its enchanting light. The village of Lumina celebrated late into the night, grateful for the restoration of their beloved lantern and the hope it symbolized. From that day on, the lantern continued to shine brightly at each festival, its light a reminder of Myra's bravery and the power of selfless wishes. The village of Lumina thrived under its warm glow, and Myra grew up to be a beloved guardian of the lantern, ensuring that its magic and the spirit of unity remained alive for generations to come. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by dense forests and rolling hills, there was a small, humble cottage owned by a kind woman named Elara. Elara was known for her generous spirit and her love for all living things. Her garden was always blooming, and animals from far and wide came to her for help. One evening, as the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the land, Elara was tending to her garden when she noticed a strange, golden light flickering among the flowers. Curious, she followed the light and discovered an old, dusty lantern buried under a pile of leaves. Elara carefully picked up the lantern and brushed off the dirt. The lantern was ornately decorated with intricate patterns of stars and moons. It seemed to hum softly in her hands, as if it held a secret. As she brought the lantern inside and placed it on her mantle, the golden light grew brighter. With a soft click, the lantern's door opened, and out floated a tiny, shimmering fairy. The fairy's wings sparkled like diamonds, and her smile was as warm as sunlight. "Thank you for freeing me," the fairy said with a voice as gentle as a summer breeze. "I am Leora, the guardian fairy of wishes. For freeing me, I will grant you one wish." Elara was amazed but also a bit puzzled. She thought about what she might wish for. She had everything she needed and wanted nothing for herself. After a moment's reflection, she said, "I wish for a way to help everyone in our village." Leora's eyes twinkled, and she waved her wand, sending a burst of sparkling light into the lantern. "Your wish is granted. This lantern will now shine with a magical light that can bring joy and aid to those in need. But remember, the light only works if the heart behind it is pure." With that, Leora vanished back into the lantern, leaving Elara with a sense of wonder and responsibility. The next day, a storm hit the village, leaving the villagers in a state of disarray. Homes were damaged, and spirits were low. Elara knew this was the time to use the lantern's magic. She carried the lantern through the village, holding it high so that its warm, golden light could shine upon everyone. Wherever the light touched, flowers began to bloom, broken things were mended, and smiles appeared on the villagers' faces. The lantern's light spread joy and hope, transforming the village into a place of renewed happiness. But as the days went by, Elara noticed something even more magical. The lantern's light began to reveal hidden talents in the villagers. The blacksmith, who had always been gruff, found joy in creating beautiful sculptures. The baker, once shy, discovered a talent for storytelling that brought laughter to the village. The lantern's light helped each person find their own unique gift and encouraged them to share it with others. One evening, as the village celebrated their newfound joy and prosperity, Elara noticed that the lantern's light had dimmed. She was concerned but remembered Leora's words about a pure heart. She knew that the lantern's magic depended on the kindness of the one who carried it. Elara thought deeply and realized that the true magic was not in the lantern itself but in the way it had brought the villagers together and helped them discover their own potential. She decided to pass the lantern on to someone else in need, trusting that its magic would continue to spread. As she prepared to hand over the lantern, Leora reappeared, her eyes shining with approval. "You have used the lantern's magic wisely, Elara. The light it gave was a reflection of your own kindness and generosity. Remember, the greatest magic of all is the kindness in your heart." Elara smiled and handed the lantern to a young woman who had just moved to the village. She hoped that the lantern would continue to bring joy and inspiration to others. And so, the village thrived, and the enchanted lantern continued its journey, lighting up the lives of those who needed it most. Elara's selflessness and the lantern's magic became a cherished story in the village, a reminder that true magic lies in the kindness we share with others. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in the tranquil kingdom of Solara, there was a magical valley known as the Meadow of Dreams. This valley was famed for its breathtaking beauty in the presence of the dream flower, a rare blossom that could bring one's dreams to life. The dream flower only bloomed once every 100 years, under the light of a special blue moon. In a small village at the edge of the valley lived a kind-hearted boy named Eric. Eric had always been fascinated by the stories of the dream flower and dreamed of seeing it bloom. His closest friend was a gentle fawn named Faye, who had an innate sense of wonder and a love for adventure. One evening, as the blue moon began to rise, Eric and Faye decided to venture into the Meadow of Dreams to witness the rare bloom. They walked through fields of twinkling fireflies and past sparkling streams, guided by the light of the moon. When they reached the Meadow of Dreams, they were greeted by a breathtaking sight. The meadow was bathed in the soft, ethereal glow of the blue moon, and the dream flower stood in the center, shrouded in a gentle mist. But as they approached, they noticed that the dream flower was surrounded by a series of magical barriers, each one shimmering with a different color. A soft voice, as gentle as a breeze, spoke from the dream flower. To reach the dream flower and see its bloom, you must complete 3 tasks. Only those with pure hearts and true intentions will succeed. Eric and Faye nodded and prepared for the first task, the trial of harmony. They needed to calm the swirling colors of the barriers, which were in constant motion and created a dissonant melody. Eric and Faye observed the barriers and realized that they needed to harmonize their movements to create a soothing melody. Faye used her graceful movements to guide the colors into a synchronized dance, while Eric played a tune on a small flute he carried. As their melody filled the air, the barriers began to harmonize and form a gentle, calming glow, allowing them to pass through to the next task. The second task was the trial of courage. They arrived at a misty grove where a series of floating platforms led to a glowing orb suspended in midair. The platforms were high above a swirling fog, and Eric needed to retrieve the orb. Faye, sensing Eric's hesitation, encouraged him to trust his instincts. Eric took a deep breath and stepped onto the first platform. With each step, he grew more confident, guided by Faye's gentle encouragement. He reached the orb and carefully brought it back to the ground, proving his courage and determination. The final task was the trial of compassion. They found themselves in a tranquil glade where a small, injured bird lay nestled among the flowers. The bird's wing was damaged, and it looked up at them with hopeful eyes. Eric and Faye tenderly cared for the bird, using herbs and soft bandages that Faye had gathered. Eric spoke soothingly to the bird, and Faye carefully tended to its wing. As they worked together, the bird's strength returned, and it fluttered its wings with renewed vigor. With the 3 tasks completed, the barriers around the dream flower dissolved, revealing its delicate petals, which shimmered with an otherworldly light. The dream flower began to bloom, its petals unfolding in a mesmerizing display of colors that reflected the dreams and hopes of all who had ventured into the meadow. Eric and Faye watched in awe as the dream flower's magic filled the meadow with a gentle, radiant glow. The dream flower's bloom illuminated the night, and its magic touched their hearts, filling them with a sense of fulfillment and wonder. As the blue moon slowly faded, Eric and Faye made their wish. "We wish for the dreams of every person in Solara to be filled with hope and joy, so that the magic of the dream flower may inspire and uplift everyone." The dream flower's magic spread throughout the kingdom, bringing light and happiness to every corner of Solara. The villagers celebrated Eric and Faye's bravery and kindness, and the story of their adventure became a cherished legend in the kingdom. And so, the Meadow of Dreams continued to be a place of wonder and magic, where dreams and hopes blossomed under the light of the blue moon. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between towering mountains and lush forests, there lived a young princess named Lila. She was known far and wide for her kindness, wisdom, and beauty. Her long, golden hair shone like the sun, and her laughter was as sweet as a spring breeze. But what truly set Princess Lila apart was her voice. When she sang, the birds would stop to listen, the flowers would bloom a little brighter, and even the rivers seemed to dance to her melody. One day, as Princess Lila was walking in the royal gardens, she heard a strange sound. It was a soft, sad song carried on the wind, and it seemed to be coming from the direction of the great river. The great river was the lifeblood of the kingdom, winding its way through villages and fields, providing water and food for all who lived near it. But now, it seemed to be crying out in sorrow. Lila followed the sound until she reached the riverbank. There, she saw something that made her heart ache. The once clear waters of the great river were murky and slow, and the fish that usually swam happily in its depths were nowhere to be seen. The trees along the banks had lost their vibrant green leaves, and the air was heavy with sadness. As Lila knelt by the river, she noticed a small, shimmering figure appear in the water. It was a water sprite, a tiny, magical being who lived in the river and cared for its well-being. The sprite was crying, her tears mingling with the river's waters. "Why are you crying, little one?" Lila asked gently. The sprite looked up at her with tearful eyes. "Oh, Princess Lila, our river is dying. The magic that once flowed through it is fading, and soon it will dry up completely. Without the river, the kingdom will wither, and all who depend on it will suffer." Lila's heart filled with determination. "What can we do to save the river? There must be something." The sprite shook her head sadly. "The only way to save the river is to find the singing stone, a magical gem that lies hidden deep within the mountains. The stone's song is powerful enough to restore the river's magic, but no one has seen it for centuries. Many have tried to find it, but the journey is dangerous, and the path is filled with trials." Lila stood up, her resolve unwavering. "I will find the singing stone and save our river. Tell me where to begin, and I will set out at once." The sprite looked at Lila with hope in her eyes. "You are brave, princess. The journey will not be easy, but I believe in you. You must travel to the Mountain of Echoes, where the ancient guardian of the stone resides. He is the only one who can guide you to the stone's resting place." With the sprite's words as her guide, Lila returned to the castle and prepared for her journey. She packed a small bag with provisions, wrapped herself in a warm cloak, and set off towards the Mountain of Echoes. The people of the kingdom watched her go with admiration and fear, for they knew the dangers that lay ahead. The Mountain of Echoes. After several days of travel, Lila reached the foot of the Mountain of Echoes. The mountain was tall and imposing, with steep cliffs and narrow paths winding up its sides. As Lila began her ascent, she noticed that the air was filled with strange sounds, whispers, laughter, and even the echoes of her own footsteps. The mountain was alive with voices, some welcoming, others warning her to turn back. But Lila pressed on, her heart set on saving the river. As she climbed higher, the path became more treacherous, with loose rocks and sudden drops. But Lila was agile and sure-footed, and she made her way steadily upwards. After hours of climbing, Lila finally reached a plateau near the mountain's peak. There, she found a large cave, its entrance framed by ancient, twisted trees. The air was thick with magic, and Lila knew she had found the lair of the guardian. With a deep breath, Lila entered the cave. The darkness inside was almost complete, but as she ventured deeper, a soft glow began to illuminate the walls. The light came from crystals embedded in the stone, casting a gentle, ethereal glow. At the far end of the cave, Lila saw a figure sitting on a stone throne. The guardian was an old, wise-looking being, with long, silver hair and eyes that sparkled like the crystals around him. He was tall and imposing, but there was kindness in his gaze as he looked at Lila. "Welcome, Princess Lila," the guardian said in a voice that echoed gently through the cave. "I have been expecting you." Lila bowed respectfully. "Great guardian, I have come to seek the singing stone. The great river is dying, and without the stone's magic, our kingdom will wither away." The guardian nodded slowly. "I know of the river's plight, and I know the dangers you face. The path to the singing stone is fraught with trials, for only those with a pure heart and true courage can claim it. Are you prepared to face these trials, princess?" "I am," Lila replied, her voice steady. "I will do whatever it takes to save my people." The guardian rose from his throne and held out a hand. "Very well. Take this crystal," he said, handing her a small, glowing crystal. "It will guide you through the darkness and protect you from the illusions that will try to lead you astray." Follow the path beyond this cave, and you will find the entrance to the Chamber of Trials. There, you must prove your worth." Lila accepted the crystal with gratitude and, after thanking the guardian, set out once more. The path beyond the cave was dark and narrow, but the crystal's light guided her safely through. After what seemed like an eternity, she reached a large stone door, covered in ancient runes. Taking a deep breath, Lila pushed the door open and stepped into the Chamber of Trials. The Chamber of Trials was a vast, circular room with high, vaulted ceilings. The walls were covered in intricate carvings, depicting scenes of bravery and wisdom. In the center of the chamber stood 3 stone pedestals, each holding a different object. As Lila approached, a voice echoed through the chamber. "Princess Lila, you must face 3 trials to prove your worth. Each trial will test a different aspect of your character. Only by succeeding in all 3 can you claim the Singing Stone." Lila nodded, ready to begin. The first pedestal held a golden scale, perfectly balanced. The voice spoke again. "The first trial is the trial of justice. You must weigh your heart against the feather of truth. If your heart is just and pure, the scales will remain balanced." Lila placed her hand on the scale, and a soft feather appeared on the other side. The scales wavered for a moment, but then settled back into perfect balance. Lila smiled, knowing she had passed the first trial. The second pedestal held a single, glowing flower. The voice spoke again. "The second trial is the trial of compassion. You must take this flower and use its magic to heal the wounds of those who suffer." Lila gently picked up the flower, and as she did, a vision appeared before her. She saw a wounded bird, its wing broken and its eyes full of pain. Without hesitation, Lila touched the flower to the bird's wing, and it began to heal. The bird chirped with joy and flew away, free and whole once more. The vision faded, and Lila knew she had passed the second trial. The third pedestal held a mirror, its surface shining like the moon. The voice spoke one last time. "The final trial is the trial of courage. You must face your greatest fear and overcome it." Lila gazed into the mirror, and as she did, her reflection began to change. She saw herself standing alone in the middle of a dark, stormy sea, with waves crashing all around her. The wind howled, and the sky was filled with lightning. But Lila stood firm, her heart filled with courage. "I am not afraid," she whispered, and as she spoke the words, the storm began to calm. The sea grew still, and the sky cleared. Lila's reflection smiled back at her, and the mirror returned to normal. With the third trial complete, the voice spoke once more. "You have proven your worth, Princess Lila. The Singing Stone is yours." A hidden door in the wall opened, revealing a small chamber bathed in golden light. In the center of the chamber, resting on a velvet cushion, was the Singing Stone. It was a beautiful gem, shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow, and as Lila approached, she could hear its soft, melodious song. Lila carefully picked up the stone, and as she did, the chamber filled with its music. The sound was like nothing she had ever heard before, pure, joyful, and full of life. She knew that with this stone, she could save the great river. The river's return with the Singing Stone in hand, Lila made her way back down the mountain. The journey was quicker this time, as if the mountain itself was guiding her safely home. When she reached the foot of the mountain, she found the water sprite waiting for her by the riverbank. "Princess Lila, you have returned," the sprite cried with joy. "Did you find the Singing Stone?" Lila nodded and held out the stone. "I did. And now we must use its magic to restore the river." The sprite guided Lila to the center of the river, where the water was still slow and murky. Lila held the Singing Stone above the water and began to sing. Her voice, combined with the stone's melody, filled the air with a beautiful, powerful song. As Lila sang, the river began to change. The water cleared, turning a brilliant shade of blue. The fish returned, swimming happily in the restored waters. The trees along the banks regained their leaves, and the flowers bloomed brighter than ever before. The great river was alive once more, its magic restored. The people of the kingdom rejoiced when they saw the river's return. They gathered along the banks to celebrate, singing and dancing in gratitude for their brave princess. Lila was welcomed back as a hero, and the story of her journey spread far and wide. And so, the kingdom flourished, with the great river flowing strong and pure. Princess Lila continued to rule with wisdom and kindness, and the singing stone remained a symbol of hope and courage for generations to come. The end. Once upon a time, in a lush and verdant valley surrounded by towering mountains, there was a small village named Greenfield. Greenfield was known for its beauty and the gentle, ancient willow tree that stood in the center of the village square. This willow, known as the Whispering Willow, was said to possess magical powers that could grant wishes to those with a pure heart. The villagers revered the Whispering Willow, for it was said that its whispers could guide them through difficult times and fulfill their deepest desires. However, as years passed, the willow's leaves began to wilt, and its once soft whispers grew faint. The village's prosperity seemed to wane with the willow's declining magic. Among the villagers was a young girl named Luna, known for her curiosity and kindness. She loved the Whispering Willow dearly and was determined to restore its magic. One evening, as she sat beneath its drooping branches, she overheard the willow's faintest whisper, "Find the heart of the forest, and the magic shall return." Determined, Luna decided to embark on a quest to find the heart of the forest, which was said to be hidden deep within the enchanted woods. The enchanted woods were known for their magical creatures and mysterious pathways, and no one had ventured into them for years. Early the next morning, Luna set off with a small satchel filled with provisions and a heart full of hope. As she ventured into the woods, she met a cheerful squirrel named Nutmeg, who seemed to have a keen sense of direction. "Hello, Nutmeg," Luna said. "I'm searching for the heart of the forest. Can you help me find it?" Nutmeg twitched his nose and nodded. "Follow the path of golden acorns," he instructed. "They will guide you to the heart." Luna followed the trail of golden acorns, which led her deeper into the woods. She soon arrived at a sparkling brook where a graceful swan named Celine floated gracefully. Celine was known for her wisdom and her ability to see beyond the surface. To reach the heart of the forest, Celine said, "You must cross this brook by solving a riddle. Only then will the path become clear." Celine's riddle was, "I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness flies. What am I?" Luna pondered the riddle and replied, "A cloud." Celine smiled and allowed Luna to cross the brook. As she continued, she came upon a clearing where a gentle giant of a tree stood. This tree, known as Arbor, was the final guardian of the heart of the forest. Arbor's voice rumbled like distant thunder as he spoke, "To find the heart, you must demonstrate your true heart's worth. Plant this seed, and if your intentions are pure, it will reveal the path." Luna took the seed and planted it in the fertile soil of the clearing. She watered it with care and patience, and watched as it grew into a radiant tree with luminous, silver leaves. At the tree's base was a hidden compartment, and inside it was a glowing crystal, the heart of the forest. With the heart of the forest in hand, Luna made her way back to Greenfield. As she approached the Whispering Willow, she gently placed the crystal into a hollow within the tree's trunk. The moment the crystal touched the tree, a brilliant light erupted, and the willow's leaves began to shimmer and glow. The Whispering Willow's whispers grew louder and more vibrant, filling the village with a sense of joy and wonder. The village of Greenfield thrived once more, with its fields becoming lush and its people's spirits lifted. The willow's magic had been restored, and the village celebrated Luna's bravery and kindness. The tale of Luna's quest became a cherished story in Greenfield, passed down through generations. The Whispering Willow continued to stand as a symbol of hope and magic, reminding everyone that true magic lies in the purity of the heart and the courage to embark on a quest for the greater good. And so, Greenfield flourished, its nights brightened by the willow's whispers and its days filled with prosperity and joy, thanks to the bravery and determination of a young girl who listened to the whispers of her heart. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where lush meadows met towering mountains, there was a village called Eldoria. This village was renowned for its beauty and the harmonious melodies that filled the air each day. The source of these melodies was a grand, old tree in the village square known as the Melody Tree. It was said that the tree sang a magical tune that kept the village prosperous and joyful. For as long as anyone could remember, the Melody Tree had been cared for by a kind-hearted woman named Seraphina. She was known as the keeper of the tree and was believed to have a special connection to the tree's magic. However, one fateful winter, the tree's song began to fade, and the village fell into silence and sorrow. The once lively streets of Eldoria became quiet, and the villagers worried that the tree's magic was disappearing. Among the villagers was a curious and courageous young girl named Alina. She loved the Melody Tree and felt a deep sadness seeing it lose its magic. Determined to restore the tree's song and bring joy back to her village, Alina decided to set out on a quest to uncover the mystery behind the fading melody. Alina visited Seraphina, who was tending to the now silent tree. "Seraphina," Alina said, "I want to help restore the Melody Tree's song. Can you tell me what might be causing the silence?" Seraphina looked at Alina with a mixture of hope and sadness. "The melody is fading because the heart of the tree has been stolen. To restore it, you must find the heart and return it to the tree. The heart is hidden in a distant land, guarded by 3 magical creatures. You must prove your worth by completing 3 tasks." Alina, resolute and ready, set out on her quest. Her journey took her through dense forests, over misty mountains, and across shimmering rivers. The first magical creature she encountered was a wise old fox named Finn, who guarded the entrance to an ancient grove. To gain access to the grove, Finn said, "You must solve a riddle. Here it is: I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Alina thought deeply and then answered, "An echo." Finn nodded and allowed her to pass. Within the grove, Alina found a golden feather that was the first key to her journey. The next task led Alina to a crystal-clear lake where a graceful swan named Celine lived. Celine's task was to test Alina's kindness and bravery. In the center of the lake, Celine said, "is a pearl that has been lost for ages. Retrieve it and return it to me, and you shall earn the second key." Alina swam through the cool waters and found the pearl resting on a bed of soft reeds. She returned the pearl to Celine, who rewarded her with a shimmering blue gem. For the final task, Alina had to climb the tallest mountain to find a wise dragon named Thorn. Thorn guarded the last key, a radiant emerald. "To prove your worth," Thorn rumbled, "you must tell me what you believe is the true source of magic." Alina looked up at Thorn and replied, "The true source of magic is love and kindness. It is the heart's ability to care for others and to bring joy to the world." Thorn's eyes softened, and he handed her the radiant emerald. "You have answered wisely. Take this key, and may it aid you in your quest." With all 3 keys in hand, a golden feather, a shimmering blue gem, and a radiant emerald, Alina made her way back to Eldoria. She arrived at the Melody Tree and placed the keys in a hidden compartment beneath the tree's bark. The moment she did, the heart of the tree, a brilliant crystal, began to glow with a warm, golden light. The Melody Tree's song returned, more beautiful and enchanting than ever before. The villagers rejoiced as the tree's magical melody filled the air, bringing joy and life back to Eldoria. The once silent streets were alive with laughter and music once more. Seraphina thanked Alina for her bravery and kindness, and the villagers celebrated her as a hero. Alina's quest to restore the Melody Tree's song became a cherished tale in Eldoria, a reminder of the power of courage, love, and the magic that lies in a pure heart. And so, the village of Eldoria continued to thrive under the melody of the grand old tree, and Alina's story was passed down through generations, inspiring others to embrace their own quests with a heart full of hope and kindness. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the reaches of ordinary maps, there was a forgotten kingdom known as Luminera. This kingdom was hidden from the eyes of the world, shielded by a powerful enchantment. Its people lived in peace and prosperity, their lives illuminated by a magical silver mirror that hung in the grand hall of the castle. The mirror had the power to reveal the true nature of things and guide the kingdom's rulers with wisdom. However, one fateful night, a sorceress named Morgana, envious of Luminera's beauty and harmony, cast a dark spell over the kingdom. The silver mirror was stolen, and Luminera was plunged into darkness. Without the mirror's light, the kingdom's magic began to fade, and the once vibrant land became shrouded in mist and sorrow. In a small village at the edge of the enchanted forest, a young girl named Eloan lived. Eloan was known for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. She often heard tales of the lost kingdom and its magical mirror from the village elders, and she dreamed of restoring the kingdom to its former glory. One day, while exploring the forest, Eloan stumbled upon an ancient tree with a door carved into its trunk. Intrigued, she opened the door to find an old, dusty journal inside. The journal belonged to the last royal historian of Luminera, and it contained clues about the mirror's whereabouts and how to break the enchantment. Determined to help, Eloan took the journal to the village elder. After studying it carefully, the elder told her, to retrieve the silver mirror and restore Luminera, you must first find the 3 enchanted keys hidden throughout the land. These keys will unlock the path to the mirror and dispel Morgana's dark magic. Armed with the journal and a heart full of courage, Eloan set out on her quest. Her journey took her through lush meadows, over treacherous mountains, and into the depths of mysterious caves. The first key was hidden in the Whispering Grove, a forest where the trees could speak. There, Eloan met a wise old tree named Arboris. The tree spoke in riddles, and Eloan had to solve them to earn the first key. Arboris asked, I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Eloan thought for a moment and replied, fire. Arboris's branches swayed in approval, and he handed her the first key, a delicate silver feather. Next, Eloan ventured to the crystal caverns, where the second key was said to be hidden. The caverns were filled with dazzling crystals that reflected light in every direction. There, she encountered a clever crystal dragon named Ignis. Ignis posed a challenge. To earn the second key, you must find the hidden crystal among the many. Only the one that shines with a pure light is the key you seek. Eloan carefully examined each crystal, guided by her intuition. After a long search, she found the one that glowed with a soft, warm light. Ignis, impressed by her perseverance and heart, gave her the second key, a radiant emerald. Finally, Eloan journeyed to the depths of the dark abyss, where the third key was concealed. The abyss was a treacherous place, filled with shadows and illusions. There, she encountered a gentle, glowing creature named Lumina. Lumina explained, to find the third key, you must face your deepest fear and overcome it with bravery and compassion. Eloan closed her eyes and faced her fears, of losing her way, of failing her quest. With each fear she confronted, she felt a surge of courage and resolve. When she opened her eyes, Lumina handed her the third key, a shimmering sapphire. With all 3 keys in hand, Eloan returned to the enchanted forest and found the entrance to Luminera, hidden behind an ancient veil of magic. She used the keys to unlock the path, revealing a hidden gateway that led to the heart of the kingdom. Inside, Eloan confronted Morgana, who had taken refuge in the grand hall where the silver mirror once hung. Morgana was surrounded by dark, swirling magic. Eloan, with the courage she had gained on her journey, faced the sorceress. The mirror belongs to the people of Luminera, Eloan declared. Its light must return to restore harmony and peace. Morgana, surprised by Eloan's bravery and sincerity, tried to resist but was ultimately overcome by the purity of her heart. The dark enchantments were lifted, and the silver mirror was restored to its rightful place. As the mirror's light spread across the kingdom, Luminera was bathed in a glorious, shimmering glow. The land returned to its former splendor, and the people celebrated the return of their magic. King Cedric, the rightful ruler of Luminera, thanked Eloan for her bravery and selflessness. As a token of their gratitude, he invited her to stay in the kingdom and offered her a place of honor. Eloan chose to return to her village, but she knew she would always be connected to the magic of Luminera. Her tale of courage and the restoration of the silver mirror became a cherished story in both her village and the restored kingdom. And so, the kingdom of Luminera thrived once more, its people living in joy and harmony, forever grateful to the brave girl who ventured into the unknown and brought back the light. The end. Once upon a time, in a tranquil kingdom surrounded by lush forests and sparkling rivers, there was a small village named Leora. Leora was known for its lush gardens, charming cottages, and a mysterious musical melody that played every full moon night. The melody was enchanting and seemed to come from the sky, but no one knew its source. In the heart of the village lived a young girl named Lyra. Lyra had a deep love for music and spent her days playing her grandmother's old violin, dreaming of discovering the secret behind the moonlit melody. Her grandmother had often told her that the melody was a gift from the moon, meant to bring joy and harmony to the world. One clear night, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Lyra decided to follow the melody. She put on her warmest cloak, took her violin, and set off towards the edge of the forest, where the music seemed to be the strongest. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the moonlight danced through the trees, casting shimmering patterns on the ground. Lyra followed the melody, which grew louder and more enchanting with each step. Eventually, she came upon a glade bathed in silver light. At the center of the glade stood a magnificent tree, its branches glowing softly with moonlight. Lyra approached the tree and discovered a hidden door carved into its trunk. With a deep breath, she opened the door and found a spiral staircase leading down into a glowing chamber. The chamber was filled with twinkling lights and soft, ethereal music that seemed to resonate with the very essence of the moon. At the center of the chamber stood an elegant harp, its strings glowing with moonlight. The harp was being played by a beautiful, otherworldly figure, an enchanting moon sprite with shimmering wings and a gown made of stardust. The moon sprite's music filled the room with a sense of peace and wonder. The moon sprite looked up and smiled warmly at Lyra. "Welcome, dear child. I have been waiting for you." Lyra was amazed. "I've always wondered where the moonlit melody comes from. How is it that you play such beautiful music?" The moon sprite's eyes sparkled. "This harp is enchanted by the moon's light. It plays a melody that brings harmony and joy to the world. But every century, we must find a new musician to keep the magic alive. The moon has chosen you." Lyra was both thrilled and nervous. "But I'm just a young girl with an old violin. How can I possibly play this magical harp?" The moon sprite gently handed Lyra a moonlit ribbon. "Take this ribbon and wrap it around your violin. Play the melody from your heart, and it will blend with the magic of the harp." With a deep breath, Lyra took the ribbon and wrapped it around her violin. She began to play, her bow moving gracefully across the strings. As she played, the music from her violin intertwined with the harp's melody, creating a harmonious symphony that filled the chamber with an even more magical light. The moon sprite watched in delight as Lyra's music resonated with the harp's enchantment. "You have a true gift," the moon sprite said. "Your music will keep the magic alive and bring joy to all who hear it." As the night wore on, the moon sprite taught Lyra the secrets of the harp and the art of playing with the moon's magic. When the first light of dawn began to appear, the moon sprite bid farewell to Lyra, thanking her for sharing her music and promising that the moon's melody would continue to bring harmony to the world. Lyra returned to her village, her heart full of wonder and joy. The villagers marveled at the new, enchanting music that filled the nights, more beautiful and captivating than ever before. They celebrated Lyra's gift in her new role as the keeper of the moonlit melody. From that day on, Lyra's music became a cherished part of Leora, and the full moon nights were filled with magical melodies that brought happiness and peace to all who listened. The village thrived under the moon's gentle light, and Lyra's name became synonymous with the enchanting tunes that touched the hearts of everyone. And so, the moonlit melody continued to play, a timeless reminder of the magic that exists in music and the wonders that lie beyond the ordinary world. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by emerald forests and sparkling rivers, there was a grand castle ruled by a wise and kind king. His daughter, Princess Aurora, was known for her beauty and generosity. She was beloved by everyone in the kingdom, but she had one sadness: she could not see her own reflection. Her mirror had mysteriously shattered one night, and despite many attempts, the pieces could not be put back together. One day, an old sorcerer appeared at the castle gates with a twinkle in his eye. He claimed he could repair the mirror, but he needed something rare, a single, genuine drop of a phoenix's feather, known to possess magical properties. He warned that finding such a feather would be a great challenge, but Princess Aurora, eager to see herself again and bring hope to her people, agreed to try. The sorcerer told her of a legendary phoenix who lived atop the Misty Mountain, a perilous peak surrounded by thick fog and treacherous paths. Determined, Aurora set out on her quest, armed with a map and her father's old sword. On her journey, Aurora met a kind-hearted knight named Sir Cedric. Sir Cedric was known for his bravery and noble deeds. He had heard of the princess's quest and offered to help, knowing the dangers that lay ahead. "Princess Aurora," Cedric said with a bow, "I will accompany you and ensure your safety. We will find the phoenix together." Aurora thanked Cedric, and the two set off for Misty Mountain. They traveled through enchanted forests, crossed bubbling brooks, and climbed steep cliffs. Along the way, they faced many challenges. They had to outsmart mischievous forest sprites who tried to lead them astray, and they bravely navigated through a dark cave filled with echoing sounds that tried to confuse them. As they neared the top of Misty Mountain, the fog grew thicker, and the air became colder. Aurora and Cedric pressed on, their determination unwavering. Finally, they reached a clearing where the phoenix's magnificent nest was perched atop a glowing stone altar. The phoenix itself, with feathers of gold and red, shimmered in the dim light. It was a sight to behold, majestic and radiant. Cedric approached cautiously, while Aurora stood back, respecting the creature's space. With a deep breath, Cedric spoke. "Great Phoenix, we come in peace. Princess Aurora seeks a single drop of your feather to mend her broken mirror. It is a token of her love for her people and her wish to see herself once more." The phoenix looked at them with wise, knowing eyes. It seemed to understand their noble quest. The phoenix nodded and slowly, one golden feather fell from its plumage. It landed softly on the altar, glistening with a magical light. Aurora's heart soared with joy. She thanked the phoenix, and Cedric carefully placed the feather into a small pouch. As they turned to leave, the phoenix spoke in a melodious voice. "True courage and kindness are the greatest magic of all. You have proven your hearts are pure. May the feather bring not just sight, but wisdom and understanding." Aurora and Cedric made their way back to the castle, their journey now filled with the promise of success. When they arrived, the sorcerer awaited them with a hopeful expression. With the feather in hand, he began the enchanting process of mending the mirror. As the pieces of the mirror came together, a soft, warm glow filled the room. The mirror was whole once more, and Aurora looked into it, finally seeing her reflection. But more importantly, she saw the reflection of all the courage and kindness she had shown along her journey. Cedric, standing beside her, watched with a proud smile. The kingdom rejoiced as the princess's mirror was restored. The people celebrated not just the return of their beloved princess's reflection, but the bravery and kindness that had brought them this joyous day. And so, Princess Aurora and Sir Cedric became close friends, their bond forged through their shared adventure. The kingdom thrived under Aurora's kind rule, and Sir Cedric's deeds were remembered as the tales of bravery and honor. From then on, the magical mirror was not only a symbol of beauty but a reminder of the virtues that truly mattered: courage, kindness, and the magic found in helping others. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where rolling hills met endless starry skies, there was a small village named Starhaven. Starhaven was known for its nightly market of moonlight, a magical bazaar that only appeared under the light of the full moon. The market was a place of wonder where dreams came to life and the impossible became possible. In this village lived a kind-hearted girl named Luna. Luna was known for her radiant smile and her love for stories. Every full moon, she would visit the market of moonlight with her grandmother, who had always told her marvelous tales of its magic. Luna longed to discover the true magic of the market for herself. One crisp evening, with the full moon glowing brightly in the sky, Luna set out to the market alone. As she arrived, she was greeted by a dazzling array of stalls, each brimming with fantastical goods, shimmering fabrics, enchanted trinkets, and potions that sparkled like the night sky. The air was filled with the melodies of celestial music and the aroma of sweet, exotic treats. Luna wandered through the market, marveling at the wonders around her. She came across a stall run by an old woman with a kind face, who sold jars of moonlight that flickered with a soft, golden glow. "Welcome, dear," the old woman said. "These jars hold the essence of moonlight. Each one contains a single wish. Choose wisely, for once the jar is opened, the wish must be made with a true heart." Luna's eyes widened with excitement. She picked up a jar and saw that it was filled with the light of 1,000 stars. The old woman's words echoed in her mind, and Luna pondered her deepest wish. She wanted to bring joy and wonder to her village, especially for those who had never been able to visit the moonlight market. As Luna continued to explore, she stumbled upon a mysterious stall that seemed to shimmer and change colors with every step she took. At the stall stood a charming young man with silver hair and a mischievous grin. He was selling enchanted maps that promised to lead the way to hidden treasures. "Ah, a curious soul," the young man said. "These maps show the path to treasures that can only be found under the light of the full moon. Would you like to find one?" Luna nodded eagerly, and the young man handed her a glowing map. "Follow the map and it will lead you to a treasure that is meant for you." With the map in hand, Luna followed its glowing path through the market. The map led her to a secluded corner where a small, sparkling pond was nestled among the stalls. The water of the pond seemed to dance with the light of the moon. As Luna approached the pond, she noticed a small, silver key lying on the ground. She picked it up and found a tiny, ornate chest half buried in the sand. Using the key, she opened the chest and found a beautiful, intricately designed locket inside. The locket was adorned with a crescent moon and tiny, twinkling stars. Suddenly, a gentle voice spoke from the locket. "You have discovered the Moonlight Locket, which holds the power to share the magic of the market with others. It can bring the enchantment of the market of moonlight to those who have never experienced it." Luna's heart swelled with joy. She knew this was the magic she had hoped for. She thanked the locket and made her way back to the village with a renewed sense of purpose. As Luna arrived home, she gathered her friends and family and showed them the Moonlight Locket. She told them about her adventure and how the locket could share the magic of the market of moonlight with their village. The villagers were filled with excitement and wonder. That evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Luna held the locket up and wished for the magic of the market to visit their village. Instantly, the village was bathed in a soft, magical light, and the market of moonlight appeared before them. The villagers were amazed as they explored the market, marveling at the wonders and delights. They found enchanted trinkets, tasted exotic treats, and danced to the celestial music. The magic of the market brought joy and happiness to everyone, creating memories that would last a lifetime. Luna's wish had come true, and the village of Starhaven thrived with the enchantment of the Moonlight Market. The magic of the market became a cherished part of their lives, and Luna's story was told for generations, reminding everyone of the power of a selfless wish and the magic that can be found when one's heart is filled with love and kindness. And they lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Harmonia, music filled every corner of the land. From dawn till dusk, melodies danced through the air, and the people sang and played instruments that created the most beautiful symphonies. The source of this music was the legendary Melody Fountain, a magical spring said to be blessed by the Muse of Music. In a quiet village on the edge of Harmonia lived a young girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her incredible singing voice, which could make even the hardest heart soften. However, despite her talent, Lyra often felt that something was missing from her music. It was as if an essential note had been lost. One day, Lyra learned from an old storyteller that the Melody Fountain had begun to lose its magic. The songs that once flowed freely from it were now barely a whisper. The storyteller mentioned a long-forgotten song that was said to have the power to restore the fountain's magic, but the notes of the song had been lost to time. Determined to find the lost song and restore the Melody Fountain, Lyra set off on a journey through Harmonia. She began her quest by traveling to the Great Library of Harmonia, where the ancient scrolls and books held the secrets of the kingdom's music. The library was guarded by a wise old librarian named Alaric. To find the lost song, Alaric said, "You must first solve a riddle. I am not alive, yet I grow. I don't have lungs, yet I need air. I don't have a mouth, yet I need water. What am I?" Lyra thought carefully and answered, "A cloud." Alaric nodded approvingly and handed her an old, dusty book. This book contains fragments of the forgotten song. To piece it together, you must visit 3 magical places in Harmonia where the notes of the song were last heard. Lyra thanked Alaric and set off on her quest. Her first destination was the Whispering Woods, a place where the trees were said to hum with a melody when the wind blew through them. As she ventured into the woods, she encountered a talking squirrel named Nutmeg, who offered to help her. "The first part of the song is hidden in the heart of the woods," Nutmeg said. "To find it, you must answer this question. What has keys but cannot open locks, has space but no room, and you can enter but not go inside?" Lyra thought for a moment and answered, "A piano." Nutmeg led her to an ancient oak tree where, nestled among its roots, was a scroll with the first fragment of the song. Lyra carefully tucked it into her bag and thanked Nutmeg for the help. Next, Lyra traveled to the crystal caves, where the walls sparkled like diamonds and the echoes of footsteps created a mesmerizing harmony. She met a friendly bat named Echo who guided her through the caves. Echo told her that the second part of the song was hidden in the deepest part of the cave and would only be revealed by solving a riddle. "Listen carefully," Echo said, "and answer this. I am taken from a mine, and shut up in a wooden case, from which I am never released, and yet I am used by almost every person. What am I?" Lyra thought hard and answered, "A pencil." Echo led her to a hidden chamber where the second fragment of the song was engraved on a crystal tablet. Lyra took the fragment and thanked Echo for the guidance. Her final destination was the Meadow of Echoes, a field where every sound was mirrored back with a beautiful resonance. In the meadow, she encountered a graceful deer named Harmony, who helped her find the final fragment of the song. Harmony told her that the last piece was hidden beneath the oldest tree in the meadow. To find it, Harmony said, "You must solve this riddle. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Lyra answered, "A joke." Harmony led her to the old tree, where she found the final scroll with the last fragment of the song. With all 3 fragments in hand, Lyra returned to the melody fountain. Standing before the fountain, Lyra began to piece together the lost song from the fragments. As she sang the notes, the melody fountain responded with a beautiful, powerful magic that flowed through Harmonia. The notes of the song filled the air, and the fountain sparkled with renewed brilliance. The kingdom of Harmonia rejoiced as the magic of the melody fountain was restored, and music once again filled every corner of the land. Lyra's quest became a cherished legend, and she was celebrated for her bravery and determination in restoring the song that brought harmony and joy to all. And so, the kingdom of Harmonia thrived, its music a testament to the power of a pure heart and the magic of a lost song, and Lyra lived happily ever after, her music forever a part of the kingdom's enchanting melody. Once upon a time, in a land where rolling green hills met endless blue skies, there lay a hidden valley known as Etheria. This valley was famous for its sparkling streams, blooming meadows, and ancient trees that whispered secrets of old. At the heart of Etheria stood a grand castle, its towers piercing the sky, where the royal family had lived for centuries. The castle was not just any castle, it was enchanted and protected by a mysterious key that had been lost for generations. The story of the key was known to all. It was said that whoever possessed the key could unlock the castle's most powerful magic, capable of bringing prosperity and happiness to the entire land. But as time went on, the key vanished, and the magic of the castle faded, leaving the kingdom in a period of uneasy calm. In the village of Elder Tide, just beyond the castle's borders, lived a young girl named Arya. She was known for her curious mind and kind heart, often helping villagers with their troubles and exploring the forests and streams of Etheria. One day, while wandering near an old, overgrown well at the edge of the forest, Arya stumbled upon a hidden door covered in ivy. Intrigued, she brushed aside the vines and discovered an ornate, ancient keyhole embedded in the door. As she examined the keyhole, a small, faded map fell from the doorframe and fluttered to the ground. It was marked with strange symbols and an image of the castle, showing a hidden chamber that Arya had never seen before. Her heart raced with excitement. Could this be a clue to the missing key? Determined to solve the mystery, Arya set out on a journey. Following the map's directions, she ventured deep into the forest, across babbling brooks, and over misty hills. The map led her to a series of enchanted landmarks, a glowing pond, a tree with silver leaves, and a field of golden flowers that seemed to whisper her name. At the final landmark, Arya found herself before a towering stone archway covered in luminous runes. The archway was adorned with intricate carvings of mythical creatures and ancient symbols. Arya noticed a small indentation in the archway that seemed to match the shape of a key. As she touched the indentation, the runes began to glow, and a hidden compartment slowly revealed itself. Inside the compartment was a beautiful, old-fashioned key, encrusted with gemstones and shimmering with a soft, golden light. Arya's eyes widened with awe. This must be the lost enchanted key. With the key in hand, Arya hurried back to the castle. She approached the grand entrance and inserted the key into the lock. To her amazement, the castle's doors creaked open, revealing a breathtaking hall filled with ancient tapestries and glowing chandeliers. At the end of the hall stood a large, ornate door. Arya approached it, her heart pounding with anticipation. She inserted the enchanted key into the door's lock and turned it slowly. As the door swung open, a wave of warm, golden light poured out, filling the hall with a gentle glow. Inside the chamber, Arya discovered a magnificent throne room with a crystal-clear pool at its center. The pool reflected the entire sky, and its waters sparkled with countless colors. In the center of the pool floated a small, glowing orb, a magical artifact that seemed to pulse with life. As Arya reached out to touch the orb, the room was filled with a soothing melody, and the magical energies began to flow through the castle once more. The enchantments that had faded over the years were rekindled, and the castle's magic spread throughout the land. The once dormant forests and fields began to bloom with new life, and the stream sparkled with renewed vigor. Arya returned to the village, where the villagers greeted her with cheers and wonder. The kingdom of Etheria had been restored to its former glory, and prosperity returned to every corner of the land. The enchanted key had been found and its magic renewed, thanks to Arya's bravery and curiosity. The legend of the enchanted key and the girl who had restored its magic became a cherished tale in Etheria. Arya was celebrated as a heroine, and her story was passed down through generations as a reminder that even the smallest of discoveries could unlock the greatest of wonders. And so, the kingdom flourished, the enchanted castle stood tall and vibrant, and Arya lived out her days with a heart full of adventure and joy, knowing that she had played a part in bringing magic back to the land. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there was a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her vivid imagination and her talent for painting. Her parents ran a small art supply shop, and Elara spent her days creating beautiful artworks inspired by the world around her. One day, while exploring the attic of their old house, Elara stumbled upon a dusty, ornate frame. Inside it was a blank canvas that seemed to shimmer in the light. Intrigued, Elara decided to take the frame down to her studio and paint something on it. As she began to paint, she felt an unusual sense of excitement. She painted a vibrant, magical forest with towering trees, sparkling streams, and colorful flowers. As she added the final touch, a magnificent golden phoenix, the canvas glowed brightly. Suddenly, the painting came to life, and Elara found herself standing in the very forest she had just painted. Elara was amazed by the beauty of the enchanted forest. She wandered through the trees, marveling at the crystal-clear streams and the melodious songs of the birds. As she explored, she met a talking squirrel named Pip. Pip explained that she had entered the enchanted forest, a magical place that existed in the world of her imagination. However, Pip also warned her of a great danger. The enchanted forest was under threat from a dark sorcerer named Malakar, who sought to drain the forest's magic to increase his own power. The only way to save the forest was to find the Crystal of Light, hidden deep within the Cave of Echoes. Determined to save the beautiful world she had created, Elara agreed to embark on the quest to find the Crystal of Light. Pip offered to be her guide, and together they set off on their adventure. Their journey was filled with challenges and obstacles. They had to cross the Bridge of Illusions, which played tricks on their eyes and made it difficult to find the correct path. Elara used her creativity to visualize the true bridge and guide them safely across. Next, they encountered the Garden of Whispers, where enchanted flowers whispered distracting and confusing thoughts. Elara focused on the soothing sound of a babbling brook, helping her stay calm and lead Pip through the garden without losing their way. Finally, they reached the entrance to the Cave of Echoes. The cave was dark and foreboding, with eerie echoes that seemed to come from all directions. Pip cautioned Elara that the echoes could lead them astray, but Elara had an idea. She began to sing a simple, cheerful tune. Her song echoed through the cave, creating a melody that they could follow. As they ventured deeper into the cave, they encountered Malakar. The dark sorcerer was a tall, shadowy figure with eyes that glowed with malice. He tried to stop them by casting dark spells, but Elara's song seemed to weaken his magic. With Pip's encouragement, Elara continued to sing, her voice growing stronger and more confident. Eventually, they reached a hidden chamber deep within the cave. In the center of the chamber was the Crystal of Light, glowing with a brilliant, pure light. Malakar tried to seize it, but Elara's song reached its crescendo, and the crystal's light intensified. The light overwhelmed Malakar, banishing him from the enchanted forest forever. With the Crystal of Light in her hands, Elara felt a surge of energy and creativity. She and Pip made their way back to the forest, where she placed the crystal on a pedestal at the heart of the enchanted forest. The forest came alive with vibrant colors and renewed magic. The trees grew taller, the flowers bloomed brighter, and the stream sparkled like diamonds. Elara bid farewell to Pip and the magical creatures of the enchanted forest, knowing that she could return whenever she wished through her enchanted painting. She stepped back through the frame and found herself in her studio once more. From that day on, Elara's paintings were more vibrant and alive than ever before. She shared the story of her adventure with the villagers, inspiring them with her courage and creativity. The enchanted painting became a treasured family heirloom, passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the power of imagination and the magic that lies within each of us. And so, Elara's legacy lived on, as her paintings continued to bring joy and wonder to all who beheld them. The enchanted forest flourished, protected by the light of creativity and the heart of a brave young girl who believed in the magic of her own imagination. The end.
Once upon a time, in a cozy village nestled between rolling green hills, lived a young girl named Clara. Clara was known throughout the village for her vivid imagination and her love for stargazing. Every night, she would sit by her window, staring up at the sky, and dream of adventures among the stars. One crisp, clear night, as Clara gazed up at the twinkling sky, she noticed something extraordinary. A star, brighter than any she had ever seen, began to twinkle and then slowly descend from the heavens. It floated down, landing softly in her garden. Intrigued and excited, Clara rushed outside to see the star up close. In her garden, the star transformed into a beautiful, glowing figure. The figure had delicate, shimmering wings and a warm, gentle smile. "Hello, Clara," the figure said in a melodious voice. "I am Stella, a star fairy. I've come because I heard your wishes and dreams as you gazed at the night sky." Clara's eyes widened with wonder. "A star fairy? I've never heard of such a thing. What brings you here?" Stella smiled. "I've come to grant you one wish, Clara, anything your heart desires." Clara thought for a moment, then replied, "I wish to bring happiness and prosperity to my village. The people here are kind and hard-working, but they've faced many hardships lately." Stella's eyes twinkled with delight. "A noble wish, indeed. Your kindness and selflessness will be rewarded. But remember, true happiness and prosperity come from within and from helping one another." With a wave of her wand, Stella cast a sparkling spell over the village. The once ordinary garden now shimmered with magical flowers that bloomed even in the darkest night, fruits that never spoiled, and herbs that could cure any ailment. As the days passed, the villagers began to notice the changes. The fields yielded abundant crops, the animals were healthy and thriving, and the people themselves seemed more joyful and full of energy. Clara's garden became a sanctuary where everyone gathered to share stories, laughter, and dreams. One day, a traveling merchant named Elias arrived in the village. He was amazed by the vibrant atmosphere and the happiness that radiated from everyone. He visited Clara's garden and was welcomed with open arms. Clara shared the story of Stella, the star fairy, and the wish she had made. Elias was deeply moved by Clara's story. "I have traveled far and wide, but I've never seen such a place of harmony and joy. You and your village have something truly special." Elias decided to stay in the village, and with his knowledge of trade and craftsmanship, he helped the villagers create beautiful goods to sell in neighboring towns. The village prospered even more, becoming known as a place of magic and happiness. Years passed, and Clara grew up, but she never lost her love for the stars. Every night, she would still gaze up at the sky, thanking Stella for the gift she had given. One evening, as she sat by her window, Stella appeared once again. "Clara," Stella said, "you have used your wish wisely and brought great joy to your village. But now it is time for you to embark on your own adventure." Stella handed Clara a small, glowing star. "This star will guide you wherever you wish to go. Follow it, and it will lead you to new dreams and new adventures." Clara hugged Stella, filled with gratitude. "Thank you, Stella. I will cherish this gift and continue to spread happiness wherever I go." With the glowing star in hand, Clara set off on a journey beyond her village, exploring new lands, meeting new people, and sharing the magic of the star with everyone she encountered. Her adventures became legendary, and the tale of Clara and the star's gift was told in villages far and wide. And so, Clara's story lived on, a reminder that with a kind heart and a wish for the happiness of others, one could light up the world like the brightest star in the sky. Once upon a time, in a quaint village by the sea, lived a young girl named Lily. Lily had a passion for painting and spent her days creating beautiful pictures of the world around her. Her favorite subjects were the vibrant sunsets, the colorful flowers, and the playful animals that inhabited the village. One day, while exploring the attic of her grandmother's old cottage, Lily discovered a dusty, ornate box hidden beneath a pile of old books. Curiosity piqued. She carefully opened the box and found an old paintbrush inside. The handle was made of smooth, polished wood, and the bristles seemed to shimmer in the light. As she held the paintbrush, Lily felt a strange, tingling sensation in her fingertips. She decided to test it out and dipped the brush into her paint palette. To her amazement, as soon as the bristles touched the canvas, the colors sprang to life in a way she had never seen before. The flowers she painted looked so real, she could almost smell their sweet fragrance, and the birds seemed ready to take flight. Excited by her discovery, Lily spent hours painting with the enchanted brush. She painted lush forests, serene lakes, and bustling village scenes. Each painting was more vibrant and lifelike than the last. Word of her extraordinary talent quickly spread throughout the village, and people came from far and wide to admire her art. One evening, as Lily was cleaning up her studio, an elderly woman appeared at her door. She had a kind smile and twinkling eyes. "Hello, Lily," the woman said. "I am Anara, the guardian of the enchanted paintbrush. I see you have discovered its magic." Lily was astonished. "The paintbrush is magical. How did it come to be here?" Anara explained. The paintbrush was crafted by a powerful sorcerer who loved art. He enchanted it with the ability to bring paintings to life. It has been passed down through generations, seeking out those with pure hearts and a love for creativity. You, Lily, have awakened its magic with your passion. But why is it here now? Lily asked. "The world is in need of beauty and hope. Anara replied. The paintbrush chose you because it sensed your ability to inspire and uplift others with your art. Use it wisely, and you can bring joy and wonder to many. Lily nodded, determined to use the paintbrush for good. She continued to paint, creating magnificent landscapes and enchanting scenes that brought happiness to everyone who saw them. She painted murals on the walls of the village, turning drab buildings into vibrant works of art. She even painted a beautiful garden in the village square, where flowers bloomed all year round, and birds sang melodies that filled the air with joy. One day, a terrible storm hit the village, causing damage and despair. Homes were destroyed, and the once lively streets were filled with sadness. Lily knew she had to do something. She gathered the villagers and promised to restore their homes and bring back the village's spirit. With the enchanted paintbrush in hand, Lily began to paint. She painted sturdy houses with colorful roofs, lush gardens with blooming flowers, and clear skies with a radiant sun. As she painted, the scenes came to life, and the village was slowly restored to its former glory. The villagers watched in awe as their homes were rebuilt and their streets transformed into vibrant, cheerful places once more. The villagers were grateful beyond words. They realized that the true magic of the paintbrush was not just in its ability to bring paintings to life, but in the hope and inspiration it brought to their hearts. They celebrated Lily and her incredible gift, and the village became a place of beauty, creativity, and joy. Lily continued to paint, always using her talent to make the world a better place. She taught others to embrace their creativity and showed them that even in the darkest times, art could bring light and hope. The enchanted paintbrush remained by her side, a symbol of the magic that lies within each of us when we follow our passions and share our gifts with the world. And so, the story of Lily and the enchanted paintbrush became a legend, reminding everyone that the true magic of life lies in the beauty we create and the joy we share with others.
Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between lush green hills and the shimmering blue lake, lived two siblings, Elara and Thorn. Elara was a kind-hearted girl with a curiosity that matched her bright blue eyes, while Thorn, her younger brother, was brave and adventurous, always eager to explore the unknown. Their village was surrounded by a dense forest known as the Enchanted Grove. Legends spoke of magical creatures and hidden treasures within the grove, but it was also said to be protected by an ancient enchantment that only the pure of heart could pass through. One sunny morning, Elara and Thorn set off on a new adventure. They had heard whispers of a hidden glade within the Enchanted Grove where the fabled Tree of Wishes grew. The tree, according to the legend, could grant one true wish to those who found it. With their hearts full of hope, they ventured into the grove, guided by a mysterious map they found in their grandmother's attic. As they walked deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and the light dimmer. The air was filled with the scent of wildflowers and the sound of rustling leaves. Suddenly, a mischievous pixie named Lumina appeared before them, her wings shimmering like sunlight on water. "Where are you two headed?" Lumina asked with a twinkle in her eye. "We're looking for the Tree of Wishes," Elara replied. Lumina fluttered around them, her laughter like the tinkling of tiny bells. "Many have sought the tree, but few have found it. The path is perilous and full of challenges. But I see something special in both of you. I will guide you, but you must prove your worth along the way." The siblings agreed, and Lumina led them to their first challenge, a bridge guarded by a fierce troll named Grumble. The troll demanded a riddle be solved before they could pass. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Grumble growled. Elara thought for a moment and then answered, "An echo." Grumble grunted, but a smile tugged at his lips. "Correct. You may pass." The trio continued their journey until they reached a wide river with no bridge or boat in sight. Lumina pointed to a family of beavers nearby. "Perhaps they can help." Thorn approached the beavers and asked for their assistance. The beavers agreed to build a bridge if the siblings could help them find food. Elara and Thorn worked together, gathering berries and nuts, and soon the beavers constructed a sturdy bridge. As they crossed the river, Lumina warned them of their final challenge, a maze of thorns that could only be navigated by those with pure intentions. Holding hands, Elara and Thorn entered the maze, their hearts united in their quest. They walked with determination, helping each other through the twists and turns. At the maze's end, they found themselves in a serene glade bathed in golden light. In the center stood the majestic tree of wishes, its branches heavy with sparkling fruit. A gentle voice spoke from the tree, "You have shown bravery, kindness, and purity of heart. You may each make a wish." Elara wished for the prosperity and happiness of their village, while Thorn wished for their parents' good health and long life. The tree shimmered, and the wishes were granted. As a token of gratitude, the tree gave them each a golden leaf, promising that they would always find their way back to the glade when needed. With Lumina's help, Elara and Thorn returned home, their hearts light and their spirits high. They shared their tale, and the village flourished with newfound hope and joy. And so, the siblings' adventure became a cherished legend, reminding everyone that with courage, kindness, and a pure heart, even the most daunting challenges could be overcome. And they lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in a land of lush meadows and ancient forests, there was a tranquil village named Greenleaf. Nestled at the edge of the village was a mystical lake known as Silver Lake. Its waters sparkled like liquid starlight, and the villagers believed it was guarded by a benevolent spirit who kept the land fertile and the village prosperous. The guardian of Silver Lake was said to be a graceful and elusive being named Lyra, a nymph of the waters who appeared only when the village faced a great challenge. The lake was not only a source of beauty but also of sustenance, as its waters were rumored to grant blessings to those who respected and cherished them. One year, a dreadful drought struck Greenleaf. The once lush fields turned barren, and the villagers were desperate to save their crops and their livelihood. The villagers spoke of the legend of Lyra, and they knew they needed her help to restore the balance. But Lyra had not been seen for many years, and no one knew how to summon her. Among the villagers was a young boy named Finn, known for his curiosity and bravery. Finn loved the stories of Lyra and felt a deep connection to Silver Lake. Determined to save his village, Finn decided to embark on a journey to find Lyra and seek her help. He set off early one morning, carrying a small backpack filled with provisions and a heart full of hope. Following the map he had drawn from old tales, Finn made his way to Silver Lake. As he approached, he noticed the lake's once sparkling waters had dimmed, reflecting the parched land around it. Standing at the edge of the lake, Finn called out, "Lyra, guardian of Silver Lake, I beseech you. Our village is in dire need of your help. Please, show yourself and restore the magic of the lake." As Finn's voice echoed across the still waters, a soft breeze began to stir, and the lake's surface shimmered. From the center of the lake, a mist began to rise, and Lyra appeared, her form ethereal and shimmering like moonlight on water. "Brave Finn," Lyra said in a voice like a gentle ripple, "why have you called me?" Finn explained the plight of his village, describing the drought and the suffering of the people. He spoke with sincerity and hope, asking Lyra to use her magic to bring rain and restore the land. Lyra listened intently and then said, "To restore the balance, you must first complete 3 tasks that will test your courage, wisdom, and kindness. Only then will the magic of Silver Lake be fully restored." Finn nodded, ready to undertake the tasks. Lyra guided him to the first challenge, a dense forest where a powerful storm had uprooted trees and caused chaos. His task was to help restore the forest. Finn worked tirelessly, clearing debris and helping animals find shelter. He showed great perseverance and compassion, earning the respect of the forest creatures. For the second task, Lyra led Finn to a mountain cave where a group of lost fireflies had been trapped. The fireflies' light was needed to rekindle the magic of the lake. Finn carefully navigated the dark cave, gently guiding the fireflies back to their home. His kindness and patience helped the fireflies safely return to their glowing haven. The final task was to climb the highest peak in the land and recover a rare flower known as the moon blossom, which only bloomed under the light of a full moon. The journey was arduous, but Finn's determination never wavered. When he finally reached the peak, he found the flower in full bloom, its petals glowing softly in the moonlight. Finn carefully picked the flower and made his way back to Silver Lake. With all the tasks complete, Finn returned to the lake with the moon blossom in hand. Lyra accepted the flower and thanked Finn for his efforts. "You have shown great courage, wisdom, and kindness," Lyra said. "The magic of Silver Lake shall now be restored." As Lyra placed the moon blossom into the lake's waters, a brilliant light spread across the surface. Rain began to fall gently over Greenleaf, and the land started to green once more. The villagers rejoiced as their crops flourished and their spirits were lifted. Lyra smiled at Finn. "Your bravery has saved your village, and the magic of Silver Lake will continue to protect and nourish Greenleaf." With that, Lyra disappeared into the mist, her task complete. Finn returned to his village as a hero, and the story of his adventure was celebrated for generations. The villagers continued to honor Silver Lake and its guardian, knowing that true magic lies in the courage and selflessness of those who are willing to make a difference. And so, Greenleaf thrived once more under the care of Silver Lake, with Finn's tale serving as a timeless reminder of the power of kindness and the magic that can be found in even the most challenging of quests. Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there was a legend of a magical garden that only appeared at midnight. This garden, known as the Midnight Garden, was said to be the source of extraordinary beauty and wonder. The villagers spoke of it in hushed tones, for it was believed to grant one heartfelt wish to those who discovered it. In this village lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Elowen. She had always been enchanted by the tales of the Midnight Garden, but despite her efforts, she had never managed to find it. Every year, on the night of the summer solstice, Elowen would venture into the forest, hoping to uncover the garden's secret. One summer solstice night, as the moon rose high and cast a silver glow over the land, Elowen set out once more. This year, she carried a lantern made from enchanted glass, a gift from her grandmother who had once told her that it would guide her through the darkest of paths. The forest was alive with the sounds of crickets and the gentle rustling of leaves. Elowen walked quietly, her lantern casting a warm, reassuring light. As midnight approached, she followed a trail of faint, sparkling fireflies that seemed to lead deeper into the forest. Suddenly, the lantern's light began to flicker and shine more brightly. Elowen noticed a soft, melodious tune drifting through the air. Guided by the music, she came upon a hidden clearing. There, surrounded by a circle of ancient trees, was the Midnight Garden. The garden was breathtakingly beautiful. Flowers with petals that shimmered like stardust bloomed under the moonlight, and trees with silver leaves swayed gracefully. In the center of the garden stood a grand, crystal fountain, its water sparkling like liquid diamonds. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the gentle hum of the garden's magic. Elowen approached the fountain, her heart full of wonder. As she neared, she saw a small, delicate fairy hovering above the water. The fairy had wings that glowed like the moon, and she was weaving a magical spell. "Welcome to the Midnight Garden," the fairy said, her voice like a gentle breeze. "I am Lyra, the guardian of this enchanted place. To receive the gift of the garden, you must first prove your heart's true wish." Elowen nodded. "I wish to help my village. We are struggling with a terrible drought, and our crops are failing." Lyra's eyes sparkled with understanding. "Your wish is selfless and pure. To grant it, you must complete a quest. In the garden lies a hidden grove where the heart flower blooms. It is the key to restoring life and prosperity. Find it, and your village's drought will be relieved." With determination, Elowen set off to find the heart flower. She wandered through the garden, her lantern illuminating the path. She encountered various challenges along the way, a maze of tall, whispering grasses that required solving a riddle to pass, and a grove of thorny vines that only parted when Elowen demonstrated kindness by helping a lost baby bird. Finally, Elowen reached the hidden grove. In its center was a magnificent flower with petals that glowed like the first light of dawn. The heart flower was surrounded by a soft, golden aura, and its scent was the sweetest Elowen had ever encountered. As she carefully picked the heart flower, Lyra appeared beside her. You have proven your worth and true heart. The magic of the heart flower will go to your village and bring relief to its drought. With the heart flower in hand, Eloan returned to her village. As she approached, the villagers gathered around, their faces filled with hope and curiosity. Eloan placed the heart flower in the village's dry well, and as its petals touched the water, a miracle occurred. The well began to fill with crystal clear water, and soon, the entire village's land was bathed in nourishing rain. The crops thrived, the fields turned lush and green, and the villagers celebrated with joy and gratitude. They honored Eloan for her bravery and selflessness, and the legend of the Midnight Garden became a cherished story of hope and magic. As for Eloan, she continued to explore and care for her village, always guided by the lessons she learned in the Midnight Garden. The enchanted lantern she carried became a symbol of the light that guides us through our darkest times, and the village prospered under the blessings of the garden's magic. And so, the village lived happily ever after, forever touched by the magic of the Midnight Garden in the heart of a brave young girl who wished for the well-being of others. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and blooming meadows, there was a hidden garden known only to a few. This garden, known as the Enchanted Garden, was said to be filled with magical flowers that had the power to grant wishes. It was protected by a wise old fairy named Seraphina, who tended to the garden's wonders with great care. In a nearby village lived a young girl named Alina. Alina was kind and gentle, with a deep love for nature. She often dreamed of finding the enchanted garden, but it was said that only those with a true heart and a noble wish could enter. One day, as Alina was wandering through the forest collecting wildflowers, she stumbled upon a beautiful, silver key half buried in the soft earth. The key shimmered in the sunlight, and Alina felt a sense of wonder as she picked it up. As she examined the key, a soft voice whispered through the trees, "That key will lead you to the enchanted garden. But to enter, you must first prove your heart is true." Excited by the discovery, Alina followed the voice, which guided her deeper into the forest. After a while, she reached a hidden door covered in ivy and moss. With a trembling hand, Alina inserted the silver key into the lock and turned it. The door creaked open to reveal a breathtaking garden bathed in moonlight. The enchanted garden was more magnificent than Alina had ever imagined. Flowers of every color and shape glowed softly, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming roses. At the center of the garden stood a single, moonlit rose on a pedestal. Its petals shimmered like silver, and its fragrance was enchanting. As Alina approached the rose, Seraphina, the wise old fairy, appeared in a swirl of sparkling light. "Welcome, Alina," Seraphina said with a warm smile. "You have shown great courage and kindness to find this place. What is your wish?" Alina thought carefully. She had always wanted to help her village, which had recently suffered from a long drought. The crops were failing, and the villagers were worried. With a determined heart, Alina said, "I wish for my village to have plenty of water and fertile land, so the crops can grow and the villagers can thrive." Seraphina nodded, her eyes twinkling with approval. "Your wish is noble and selfless. To grant it, we must first ask for the moon's blessing." With a wave of her wand, Seraphina summoned a gentle, glowing mist that surrounded the moonlit rose. The rose's petals opened, revealing a crystal at its center. The crystal began to glow brightly, and a soft, melodic hum filled the air. Alina watched in awe as the crystal's light grew stronger. The mist swirled around the garden, and the petals of the moonlit rose started to drift away like falling stars. The fairy's magic touched every corner of the garden, and the energy of the wish began to spread. "Now, we must send the magic to your village," Seraphina explained. "Hold the rose tightly and think of your village with all your heart." Alina carefully took the moonlit rose in her hands and closed her eyes. She imagined the fields filled with golden crops, the villagers smiling and working together, and the clear, flowing streams that would bring life to the land. As she focused on her wish, a brilliant beam of light shot from the rose, piercing the night sky. The light traveled across the land, reaching Alina's village. when the light touched the village, the skies opened up, and rain began to fall gently upon the parched earth. The fields soaked up the water, and the streams began to flow once more. When Alina returned to her village, she was greeted with cheers and tears of joy. The once dry fields were now lush and green, and the villagers rejoiced at the return of their water supply. The village was thriving, and Alina's selfless wish had brought hope and prosperity to everyone. Alina never forgot the enchanted garden and the moonlit rose that had made her wish come true. She continued to care for her village with the same kindness and love she had shown in her wish. And every night, she would look up at the moon, knowing that the magic of the enchanted garden was watching over her. As for the enchanted garden, it remained a place of wonder, waiting for the next kind-hearted soul to discover its secrets and make a wish with a true heart. And so, under the moonlit sky, Alina and her village lived happily ever after, their dreams blooming as brightly as the magical flowers in the enchanted garden. The end. Once upon a time, in a realm where the skies were always painted in hues of pastel pinks and blues, there lived a little cloud named Nimbus. Nimbus was smaller than the other clouds, and he often felt overshadowed by their grand size and majestic shapes. Despite his small stature, Nimbus had a heart full of dreams and a desire to make a difference. One day, a fierce storm began to brew over the land. Dark clouds gathered, and the winds howled menacingly. The villagers below, who lived in a cozy village at the base of a great mountain, began to worry. They had heard stories of storms causing flooding and damage, and they knew they needed help. Nimbus watched from afar, feeling both frightened and determined. The other clouds, big and imposing, seemed indifferent to the plight of the villagers. They were content to let the storm take its course, but Nimbus couldn't bear to see the village in danger. Gathering all his courage, Nimbus decided to take action. He floated closer to the storm, using his tiny form to navigate through the chaotic winds. The storm was fierce, and Nimbus struggled against the torrents of rain and lightning. He knew he needed to find a way to help, even if he was small. As he ventured deeper into the storm, Nimbus noticed a large, dark cloud looming directly above the village. This cloud was the source of the torrential rain and lightning. Nimbus realized that if he could reach the cloud and somehow calm it, he might be able to bring relief to the village. Nimbus made his way to the dark cloud, braving the storm's fury. With every bit of strength he had, he began to gently touch the dark cloud, sending waves of soothing, soft rain instead of the harsh torrents. It was a slow process, but Nimbus's gentle approach began to make a difference. The dark clouds started to calm, and the rain lessened. In the village below, the villagers watched in awe as the storm's intensity began to wane. They saw the little cloud working tirelessly to bring the storm under control, and their worry turned into hope. They cheered for Nimbus, their hearts lifting as the storm's fury diminished. Nimbus continued his efforts until the dark cloud finally settled and the storm subsided. The skies cleared, revealing a brilliant, serene blue. The village was safe, and the damage was minimal. The villagers, though soaked and tired, were grateful and amazed by the bravery of the small cloud. Nimbus floated back to his own little corner of the sky, feeling a profound sense of accomplishment. The other clouds, now seeing Nimbus's bravery and selflessness, gathered around him. They recognized the importance of every cloud, no matter its size, and celebrated Nimbus for his courage. From that day forward, Nimbus was known as the brave little cloud throughout the realm. He continued to float through the skies with pride, always ready to help those in need, no matter how small or large the challenge might be. The villagers often looked up at Nimbus with gratitude, and the skies above were never quite the same. They were a bit brighter and filled with the knowledge that even the smallest among us can make a big difference. And so, Nimbus's tale became a cherished story, reminding everyone that bravery and kindness come in all sizes, and that even the smallest cloud can bring sunshine to the darkest storm. Once upon a time, in a land where the skies were always painted with twilight hues and stars twinkled brightly, there was a small village named Celestia. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, and their lives were guided by the stars above. Each year, they celebrated the Night of Wishes, a magical evening when the stars were said to grant one special wish. In this village lived a kind-hearted boy named Leo. Leo was known for his adventurous spirit and his love for the night sky. He often spent his evenings stargazing, dreaming of discovering the secrets of the cosmos. This year, as the Night of Wishes approached, Leo decided he would embark on a quest to find the legendary Starlight Compass, a mystical artifact said to guide its bearer to their deepest desires. According to legend, the Starlight Compass was hidden in the heart of the Celestial Forest, a mystical woodland that shimmered with starry light. Leo prepared for his journey by packing a small satchel with essentials, a map of the stars, a lantern, and a warm cloak. With a heart full of determination and curiosity, he set out as the first stars began to appear in the evening sky. As Leo entered the celestial forest, the trees sparkled with a gentle, silver light, and the air was filled with the soft hum of celestial melodies. Leo followed a path illuminated by stardust, guided by the twinkling lights of fireflies that seemed to dance in rhythm with the stars above. After walking for some time, Leo came to a clearing where a magnificent, ancient tree stood. Its branches stretched high into the sky, and its leaves shimmered like a galaxy. At the base of the tree was a grand, golden door adorned with intricate star patterns. Leo approached the door and noticed a riddle inscribed on it: to find the compass and claim its might, you must seek the light within the night. 3 tasks you must complete with grace, and then you'll find the hidden place. The first task was the task of kindness. Leo saw a small, wounded fox nestled under the tree. With gentle hands, he tended to the fox's injury and wrapped it in a soft cloth. The fox looked at Leo with grateful eyes before scampering off into the forest. The second task was the task of courage. Leo heard a faint, mournful sound coming from a deep, shadowy ravine. Peering into the darkness, he saw a family of glowing fireflies trapped inside a spider's web. Summoning his courage, Leo carefully freed the fireflies, who buzzed around him in a grateful, joyous swirl. The final task was the task of wisdom. Leo found an ancient stone tablet with a constellation map. The map depicted a series of stars forming a pattern. The riddle's final clue was inscribed on the tablet: find the star that guides the way, and it will lead you where you may. Align the stars with your true aim, and the compass will reveal its name. Star. Leo studied the constellation map and aligned the stars according to their patterns. As he did, the golden door began to glow with a soft, warm light. The door creaked open, revealing a hidden chamber bathed in starlight. In the center of the chamber was a pedestal with a shimmering compass resting upon it. The compass had a crystal-clear face and delicate, silver pointers that glowed with an otherworldly light. Leo carefully took the starlight compass and felt a surge of warmth and clarity. The compass's needle pointed towards the sky, and Leo knew that his deepest wish had been granted. With the compass in hand, he followed its guidance back to Celestia. As he arrived, the stars seemed to shine even brighter, and the village was filled with a renewed sense of wonder and magic. On the Night of Wishes, Leo shared the story of his adventure and the magic of the Starlight Compass with the villagers. The compass's light illuminated the night, guiding the villagers' wishes and bringing joy and hope to everyone. From that night on, the Starlight Compass became a cherished symbol in Celestia, reminding everyone that with kindness, courage, and wisdom, the stars would always guide them to their deepest desires. And so, the tale of Leo and the Starlight Compass became a beloved legend, celebrating the magic of the night sky and the power of dreams.